admitting that they both jizzed on the TNT Championship to Dan Lambert and the men of the year. Soak that in. Soak that in. Pun intended. Soak that in. Professor
like, who
Chris.
did this?
Brad Maddox. Brad Maddox did, ladies and gentlemen. We broke Professor Chris again, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, you know what the contact clock? Seriously, dude.
He's got a picture. I think he's got Chris's picture.
You gotta use the speaker of the house to let's. Okay.
Yo, Romeo, you are the GOAT, son.
It's SmackDown when it was on UPN.
Yeah, when it was on UPN, Underpaid Negroes Network. When it was.
Oh my God, I love Professor Chris. Oh my God, this is amazing.
But
this is great, Chris. You're amazing.
He said underpaid Negro.
I just had brain surgery in January. Watching this shit is not conducive to
your mental state, your mental health.
To the bleeding in my brain to stop. Look, man.
Wait, so you're an actual professor?
Yeah, that's not a gimmick.
Okay. I'm so sorry. I wish you were one of my professors when I was going to school. Shit.
I respect the work that you guys do. And Romeo, too.
Yeah. We'll always be there to tell you what happened on NXT 2.0.
Right.
And he just leaves.
This is the knockout artist, Chris Hero. And if you're looking for some true heel heat, you better listen to them boys.
It's here. It is WrestleMania week in Dallas, Texas. We are here to preview and predict all the major shows, talk about all the big news, including Shane McMahon in Dallas, possibly to perform at WrestleMania, MJF and Tony Khan getting into a heated discussion, people losing contracts, people gaining contracts, debuts galore. We're here to talk about it. We got Stephanie Hypes filling in for Miss Krssi Luv. We got our special guest, Joe Hulbert, here with us as well. It's WrestleMania week. It's Tru Heel Heat. Let's get into it. Hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom, SP3. We are live on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for Tru Heel Heat 169. Here comes the Mania. We're discussing the latest wrestling news, including Shane McMahon in Dallas for WrestleMania 38 weekend, a huge WWE meeting about third-party partnerships, the latest as the Codyverse turns, recap of the weekend wrestling from AEW, Joey Janela Spring Break 6 Part 1, Josh Barnett's Bloodsport 8, WWE Raw, NXT 2.0, Impact, New Japan Cup, and plus much more. I am here replacing Miss Krssi Luv for the week. She's filling in the shoes because she does it so well. She is the other co-host of Serving Face and Heels. She is Stephanie Hypes.
What's up? I would just like to say no one can replace you, Miss Krssi Luv. Nobody. But I'm going to try my darndest. I am. I'm so happy to be here. It's Mania weekend.
Excitement galore, and that's why we had to bring in the big guest with the big grin. He is the face and the ace of late night grin. He is the feature writing goat himself, Joel Hulbert.
Bro, I need to talk to my agent because, like, when I agree to this, I need a clause that says if Shane McMahon's in the news, like, it changes, you know? Like, I was real fired up, and then you run it down. I was like, oh, shit, we're talking about Shane McMahon today. I've been owned. I'm happy to be here. I like that, though. The face and the ace. I can do something with that SP3. You're very good at this stuff, man. You can do more gigs on the other 12 wrestling websites. You're everywhere, man. You're killing it. Absolutely killing it. But I'm fired up to be here. This is going to be fun. We've got a lot to talk about.
A lot to talk about, a lot to come over the weekend. Of course, if you're joining us live, remember to drop a thumbs up on this video. Share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, smash that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. You saw the video at the start. There's plenty more to enjoy. We're going over to Twitch at 4 p.m. Eastern time with one of Late Night Grin's other faces of that YouTube channel, Jay Shell. Nicole is going to be joining us, as well as Professor Chris, our guest from last week for GCW for the Culture with Romeo. We're going to be watching along over there, and it segues nicely into New Japan Pro Wrestling Long Star Shootout, and then we'll be back on the YouTube channel 8 p.m. Eastern time for SmackDown, for Hall of Fame, for Rampage, for ROH Supercard of Honor, for Impact Wrestling Multiverse of Madness, for Joey Janela's Spring Break 6. Romeo, he's going to get a raise after this week. I promise you, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, we want to hear from all of you in the live chat. This show is interactive. We try to highlight as many comments as possible. But of course, your super chat donations help us out so much. We are a self-funded channel, and it helps us grow with your super chat donations. And we will highlight your comment on screen. If you want to hear my opinion, Stephanie's opinion, or Joe's opinion, that's where it's here for. We got you, my boy Blue, in the live chat saying, I see we're operating on CPT time. Yes, because Joel is the blackest of us. I told him before, he's not a Brit. He's officially invited to the cookout. So he's not a Brit anymore. I don't even consider him in my top 5 Brits. He told me he retweeted me when I said that to Alex, and I was like, you're a Brit? What?
CPT time's the right time. Look,
always the right time.
I have to say, I generally consider when someone doesn't believe or questions that I'm a Brit, to me that's the greatest compliment of all. So that meant a lot to me. SP3, I really liked it. So yeah, thank you for that.
Nice.
We got the Negro Buck in the live chat saying we're live, pal. We got Adif saying, hey, yo. We got Cody saying, my God. And we got JJ here with us. Pop, he said, I've already corpsed from I guess that's from the recap, because Negro Buck says, gotta love these recaps. Yes, every single week. And thank you, Negro Buck, because he has the best addition to AE Ramble we could have possibly get. He's helping me, get invited to AEW media scrums, regardless of what Jimmy Macaram has to say about Tony Khan. I appreciate you, Negro Buck. We also got, oh man, so many people in the live chat. Thank you guys for joining us. Anthony Manzano, you, my boy Blue, like I said before, Alan Weinstein, one of our good elite good eggs in the live chat. But we of course love you all, so we shout you out at the start of every show here. Tru Heel Roll Call, where we shout out everyone supporting us on our YouTube channel, Patreon, as well as social media. Our top 3 conversation starters on the Tru Heels group page. The Tru Heel Trinity is the same as last week. It's Reno Red. Coming at number 2 is Alan Weinstein, and of course number 1 is the Negro Buck, Nick Jackson. And our Patreon backers, we got to shout out Bala B, Alan Weinstein, Nick Jackson, who joined us last night on Blunt Impact, Alex McCarthy, Professor Chris, Austin K, Slam and Sammy Joe, who also joined us last night, you, my boy Blue, Yachty, Robert, Steve Salvage, Antoine Rutledge, 5th Generation Carney, Beep Boop, and DJ Eric, the newest Patreon backer, who joined us last week as well. But let's get into it, because there's plenty of wrestling to talk about for the week that will be, but we got to talk about what we missed. And we're going to start off with AEW Dynamite this week, because the AEW Dynamite was in Columbia, South Carolina, and it was a rare occasion because Stephanie watched AEW Dynamite live. I saw her on my Twitter machine. I saw her.
live. Okay, so I want to it's not like I don't watch it. It's usually a recap.
Yes.
Via Twitter, via YouTube. But I watched it live this week. I had the time. I made the time. I enjoyed it. It's a good show. It was a good show.
It was a good show. They did 979,000 viewers. The show was highlighted by 3 stellar matches. First, Jon Moxley defeating Jay Lethal in a great matchup. You then had Bryan Danielson defeat Wheeler Yuta in a technical wrestling clinic with another impressive performance from Yuta. You also had Andrade El Idolo and Darby Allin. Darby Allin, I want to see you wrestle past 30, because the beating he took in this match, I was just like, I'm just worried about Darby's future. But that was an awesome physical battle there. CM Punk beat Max Caster and officially staked his claim for the AEW World Title. Speaking of the World Title, you had the Undisputed Elite Championship celebration, which was interrupted by AEW World Champion Hangman Adam Page in a new horned up Tesla, and AEW World Tag Team Champions Jurassic Express with Christian Cage, who took their titles back. Yeah, Thunder Rosa got her promo that she deserved. Yes, the Will Smith, Chris Rock meme from the Ramble yesterday. Thank you for adding that.
Romeo's always coming through, man. You're always coming through. God, that's great.
Thunder Rosa got the promo that she deserved last week on this show, and she knocked it out the park. You also had her challenge Nyla Rose to step up, and Nyla Rose showed us this week that she doesn't need Vicky Guerrero when she responded to Thunder Rosa saying she has a death wish, so she's a genie, abracadabra, bitch.
She doesn't need Vicky Guerrero, people. She doesn't need her.
She never did. It's such a shame.
I think they just want to get Vicky out there. I think it's more about getting Vicky out there than it is Nyla needs her.
Yeah, facts. We also had FTR beat the Gun Club with MJF on commentary. Wardlow tried to get his hands on MJF, but security stopped him again, which FTR wasn't pleased with, being in the middle of this whole situation. And they later challenged the Young Bucks to a Full Gear 2020 rematch. And of course, the big news from the show, Toni Storm made her AEW debut by defeating the Bunny to advance in the Owen Hart Memorial Tournament. The Owen Hart Cup getting started, and yes, she is officially all elite. So let's start with Joe. Joe, what was the highlight on a show that was, despite being a filler show, because we're still in the middle where they're kind of setting things up for Double or Nothing, for Battle of the Belts? This was an awesome filler show, though. What stood out the most for you?
I would say Danielson and Yuta was a pretty clear standout for me. I mean, I just think Danielson is so great that you can say he's great every week and it's still not enough. And then you see him get 10 minutes for a guy that's capable and you see what he can do. There isn't a wrestler in the world I would trust more to get another guy over more than Danielson, and the people are getting into Yuta, which as talented as he is a month ago, he wasn't getting much reaction at all. And now he's getting chance. And it's very easy. So I would say that match, which was tremendous. Also, the kind of development of FTR as they turn babyface here, big fan. Love them getting a chance to be characters on this show as well as just great wrestlers. So those were the two standouts for me. But there was a lot, as you said. I mean, wrestling-wise, that's one of the best episodes they've ever done. It was every match on that show hit to some degree. A couple of them were like 4-star range. So tremendous show. But Danielson Yuta for me personally.
I gave that my match of the night on AE Ramble. Stephanie, what about you? What stood out the most for you?
Well, first we're going to start with the ladies, because obviously that's where I reside. I mean, Thunder Rosa needed that promo last week. I'm glad she got it. That was it. That's what I was expecting last week. But it hit the nail on the head. She told you what kind of champion she was going to be. She told you exactly what she wanted to do. And she said, I'm calling you out. Calling you out. It was great. I loved it. Exactly what needed to happen. Jade Cargill has her baddie section.
Oh yeah,
I thought that's so cool that she's doing that. It just hypes, some fans up, gets the audience looking a little better. I'm not saying that people are not looking good, but it brightens things up a little bit, little spruce. But I love that. I love that she did that. So that's kind of for the ladies, but I think there was also some advance with Tay as well.
I believe that's that's going to happen on Rampage. It was taped there, but we had Marina Shafir, one of the the MMA 4 horsewomen, get a video package letting us know that Dark still exists.
That's more than I think she got in NXT. So we're already doing better. So I'm happy for her. She's great. She's a great talent, and I don't think she was utilized as well as she could have. So I'm really happy to see kind of what her and Jade do. And they had a little back and forth on Twitter too, which was actually really cute. I think to your point, Joe, was about Yuta. I watch a lot. I don't watch everything.
Right.
So he's newer to me as far as like his work. And so to your point, Bryan Danielson, I do this all the time.
Call him by his slave name.
Damn it. Not slave name, damn. He's just good at putting people on the map, man. Like it, and it just makes me want to go watch more. And I already have actually looked up some more stuff. But you know what I mean? Like he's just really good. He's good at doing that. It was a great fucking match.
What about Toni Storm? We got to hear your thoughts on Toni Storm's debut.
Oh my God. Yes. Okay. So number one, I popped, right? Here's the thing. I was kind of hoping she'd have a different look. She didn't, but I am curious to see what they do with her because I think you maybe saw, I posted on Twitter, my only worry is she'll end up on Dark like Ruby. And some people completely agreed. And some people came after me and were like, what do you mean? She was in this tournament. She did. I'm like, I'm not saying they did nothing with her. I am saying over the last couple months, since January, she has not been consistently on TV. She has been on Dark. And they're like, well, what's the big deal? Just look on YouTube. I don't want to fucking watch YouTube for my wrestling. Excuse me. I'm like, look, I will go to YouTube to watch wrestling, but I want to see these women on TV consistently in storylines. Give me some more factions. That's how they get half the men on the show is 18 different factions. Get some women factions out there. I think Britt's the only one that has one. So I'm like, there's different things they could be doing. At least just, even if it's a full storyline, just to get their face out there, get their name out there. You know what I mean? And then things can progress from there. So we'll see. I'm very excited for her. I'm glad she has a place. I think when she went to main roster, WWE, that pie shit was horrid. And I'm happy for her. If she's happy, I'm happy. So I just want her talent utilized somewhere. So I thought she was going to Impact. So I was kind of surprised. So I was like, I'm happy for her. I'm really happy.
I think she's kind of too big of a star for Impact Wrestling. That's why I'm kind of happy that she is in AEW. But Joe, Stephanie makes a very good point about she could wind up being one of the faces of the women's division, or she can be a face in there for a couple of months and then wind up on Dark like Ruby Soho. But the big thing is with Ruby Soho, with Ty Conti, with Serena Deeb, who have all come from WWE to AEW, they were all released. This is the first time that something similar to the Jon Moxley, to the Bryan Danielson, to the Adam Coles of the world, who chose to leave WWE and show up in AEW. What do you think is going to be the impact of Toni Storm in AEW, Joe?
I find it really hard to read, to be honest with you. You and I have actually had some fun with the topic of Toni Storm in the past. Remember we had our famed draft episode?
Yes.
we got very, very heated about Toni Storm, Rhea Ripley comparison. You know, I was punching the wall and it was the scene. I think Tony's one of those talents that she ticks all the boxes. And now this is the place where it needs to come together. And I don't say that with any kind of mean spirit or spite. I'm a fan. She's great, but we're going to find out now. Now, obviously, the key, as Stephanie touched on, is she needs the backing of the creative, right? If she's just on Dark, she can only do so much. But but it will be interesting. Like I think you saw with her run on NXT US and then SmackDown again, very limited by creative. But you saw some of the kind of struggles I think she's had in recent years. That's not a big deal. That's just the way it goes. She's still 26, you know?
Yeah.
She's a big signing. I'm not ready to be like, she's going to run the division. But I think it's obviously she should be on TV at least once every couple weeks rather than 1 month on, 2 months off, which is There's been a trend. People can push back on the Ruby thing, but let's be honest. You said it has been on TV since January. That's a real thing, you know. Like you can't just pretend it isn't. So it'll be interesting. I'm excited to see how it plays out.
How do you guys feel about her not really changing anything? As far as like, I think I was expecting her to like debut maybe with a different look, and it's not about because her look is fantastic. Don't get me wrong. Like just like a rejuvenation, almost a reinvention or something. Like I thought when she did appear wherever, I thought she would come with a different character or look or whatever. So I was expecting that, but again, we'll see.
Right. I think it's a case of talent's really split on how to approach that. I think maybe the mindset for Tony is she was on the main roster such a short amount of time that she's still fresh with that look to the big audience. That makes sense. Like,
that's true.
Now, there are some wrestlers that have been on main roster TV for 10 years. They should probably change up their look.
Correct.
I think with Tony, maybe she sees it that way. But I don't disagree with you. It'll be really interesting seeing how she kind of stacks up to the top tier of that division, which is very polarizing. People have very different reads on how good that division is or isn't.
Yes.
As we get more WWE names crossing over, you're going to find out, I think, kind of more answers on that front. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I've had Dutch Mantel tell me he thinks that the AEW women's division is better than WWE only because of how they use different women at different times. And he's just watching Rampage. This is just from him watching Rampage. He just feels like WWE, they know how to use Charlotte, Becky, Ronda, Bailey, Sasha, but they don't always know how to utilize the rest of the ladies. And even sometimes Sasha goes into that bunch as well, where they don't really know how to use them. Whereas when he watches AEW, he sees Thunder Rosa, who's, besides last week, is always very treated well and treated in a nice light. And he loves my comparison of saying that Thunder Rosa is like Xena the Warrior Princess meets Rosie Perez. He loves that. And Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, he really enjoys. He likes the Tay Contis. He likes the different women that they use. And he sees different women. And he says Jade Cargill is probably like the biggest star in women's wrestling to him. So So I can understand it is very polarizing because you get the people like myself that has to review AEW every week where I'm like, I noticed that they only use the women in the 15-minute block at 9:30 p.m. Like that's usually the block.
And for people like me, where I am a women's wrestling fan who's driven to watch because of the women, it's part of the reason why I haven't completely sank my teeth into AEW. It's not their talent; they have the talent. Don't get me wrong, but when most of their talent's on Dark, and that's where I have to go watch them consistently, I'm like, well, I'm a mom. I have a full-time job. I'm a mother. Like, I have a husband. I have a family. I don't have time all the time to go watch YouTube. So for me, I want to tune in on TV. I want my daughter to see the women wrestling on TV. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see the women wrestling on TV. And I mean, I want them in proper, good storylines. And don't get me wrong, folks. I've talked about this before. WWE doesn't get it right all the time, right? Like they have their own issues that I fully call out. But it's a women's issue in the industry overall. We're getting there. There has been progress. I have hope for Tony. She has all the talent. To Joe's point, this is she needs to show out now. She has the place. She's at the place to show out. So
and to your point about YouTube, it is important, as you said, like even if you could watch those shows, there's not any stories really on those shows. Swan and Diamante had one. Exactly, squash matches. So even if there was angles there, it'd be easier, right? But there's not. You're just going to see your favorite wrestler win a 2-minute match, which is fun, but it's got, it only has so much depth to it. So absolutely, I agree.
They need like an AEW Dark Women's Championship and Men's Championship. Maybe then they can actually get some angles and feuds going.
I truly believe, and it's very difficult. We talk about this a lot on the Late Night Grin. You'd have to be careful because you do not want it to take away from how much the women are on TV now, which isn't enough as it is. But I do think an exclusive show would be interesting for the underneath talent because they've got like 25, 30 women.
Yeah.
The bottom 15 of that group, if they had their own show where they could do angles, promos, longer matches, I think that would be really an interesting thing to kick around. And I mean, I know they have 4 shows already, so and now Ring of Honor. So,
or even if you have angles on Dark that lead to the main shows, it might get more people watching Dark. Like if you're like, we're gonna do this tournament on Dark, and And then, oh, so-and-so attacked so-and-so on Dark. It's almost like when WWE does live shows and there's an angle that happens at a live show that's not on TV, but they just film that angle and then they put it on, TV and they're like, this happened. And you're like, oh my gosh, this happened at a live event? Let me go do a live event. Like, it's another way to market and it's another way to promote these women who aren't seen on TV on a weekly basis. So,
yeah. We got Advi in the chat saying Dark Championships is not a bad idea. We got Mad King who says they should make Elevation more story driven. In my opinion, it seems a very, very common opinion. We got Reese in the live chat saying Sheeta, Riho, Deeb, Rosa, Storm are your top 5 now. And Riho, I can't tell you the last time she was on TV. It's been a while. I know she was like going between Japan and here, but she's been in the United States for a while and hasn't really been used since Battle of the Belts when she lost to Britt earlier this year. And Sheeta and Deeb, I've been begging them, just give me a vignette. Tell me when we're going to see this next match because I want to see it.
Didn't Sheeta call them out?
Yeah, I think so.
About being in catering?
Yeah, I think so.
Like, she said something, and all of a sudden, she's back in something again. So maybe it takes that. But again, and I think someone actually responded to my tweet about the whole Ruby thing. Like, people all can't be pushed at the same time, right? And, they have to rotate. I'm like, I never said don't rotate people. I said I would like to see them consistently in storylines. I'm like, it's been since January. I expect over the summer, Ruby's back into another storyline. I would hope.
People have got to chill out on pushing back on this very fair criticism. They've got to chill. We've been talking about this a lot recently. Like, there's like 15 guys on the AEW roster. If they're not on AEW or Rampage for a week, I'm like, well, that's kind of weird. There's like 2 women that have the same privilege. It's a real thing. Pretending it isn't helps no one. Let people vent, let people criticize, because it's real. And hopefully it gets fixed. And, I see tweets like yourself, like, hey, I would like to see this restaurant like on TV. No, because we don't do that. We rotate. It's a fair thing to ask.
It's like people so people, I think most people who follow me, at least most people who follow me, know I watch WWE a little more than AEW. Right. So I think they assume when I put any criticism about anything about AEW, it's an automatic, you just hate everything and AEW bad. And I'm like, that's not at all what I want. I want better for these women industry-wide. Like I do. That's from WWE, AEW. Impact's actually doing great with women. Ring of Honor, like all of them. I want all the women to do better on all these different shows. And so when I criticize something, or it wasn't even criticism, all I said was, I hope Tony does well. I don't want to end up on Dark like Ruby. That's all I said, and it just got like 1,200 likes, and then like people were like, "You hate AEW," and I'm like, I can't. What?
The vitriol. So, but like you guys said, like Sheeta has said something. Arn Anderson most recently is talking about like how Brock isn't on TV and how they have to get better of people pitting people on TV for like a month and then keeping them off TV for 2 months. They have to be better with the rotation because it takes like 8 to 12 weeks to get someone over. You have to consistently see them on, and that's why I like what Joe said about FTR. I counted. FTR was in 3 segments this week. I think that's a record for them in AEW. So you can tell they have some investment and they're leading to something there. And even with Jay Lethal back-to-back weeks with great matches. He had a promo on Rampage. Jimmy calls it the Negro hole. He kind of climbed out of the Negro hole, but he climbed out of the AEW dark hole, which a lot of people are in right now. So hopefully it's going to get better. This was a good sign on this week's show, but we also had Joey Janela's Spring Break 6 Part 1 last night. For anyone who hasn't watched the show and doesn't want to get spoiled, this is your spoiler warning. In 3, 2, 1. The Briscoes defeated the Hate Club and Second Gear Crew to become the 2-time GCW World Tag Team Champions in the opener to the show. You also had Jon Moxley beat AJ Gray in an intense death match, which I know Renee Paquette, who I've talked to this week, who had to be cringing at home and upset over some of these light tubes and barbed wire that John was going through, but he retained the GCW World title in an even bloodier death match than that. You had John Wayne Murdoch beat Alex Colon to win the GCW Ultraviolent title, and Joey Janela, of course, on his namesake, low blowed and super kicked X-Pac to beat him in his match. But he had great Scott Hall inspired gear. That was awesome. And Mickie James also had defeated Allie Katch in what was the first women's match on a Joey Janela Spring Break ever. So that was a big moment for her. In a post on Twitter after the show, though, Sean Waltman revealed that he suffered a torn bicep at GCW Welcome to Heartbreak back in February, and he will need surgery, but he promised he will return for more matches. Even with the injury, he still wrestled Joey Janela last night, and he wrote on Twitter, "I tried to keep this on the down low, but I tore my bicep in the tag match a month ago. I'm going to have surgery soon, and then a few more matches." So hopefully a speedy recovery for X-Pac, as he's been in GCW doing work and put over Joey Janela last night. So good stuff on his part.
Okay.
Yes, and WrestleMania week is up and running because yesterday we had our watch along for Josh Barnett's Bloodsport GCW. I think a lot of people forgot that it's Josh Barnett's Bloodsport, so they didn't realize that Josh Barnett usually wins at these events, and he defeated Jonah, which.
Wow.
I mean, I saw people upset on Twitter, like, can we stop putting Josh Barnett's name a part of this so he stops booking himself to win against people like Jonah?
He's like, no matter who it is, I'm winning. So
he beat John Moxley on one of these. Like, Romeo's here. What's up, Romeo?
What's up, Joe? What's up, Stephanie? Very weird. Josh Barnett and Joey Janela win at their own shows. Very weird.
Very weird, right? Right? It's like they're booking it, huh?
Look, man.
If I ever became a wrestler, I think I make my own promotion and just book myself to win.
If you want to beat Josh Barnett, you can try. You can try go out there and beat him. I don't think you can have much luck.
No.
That's true. If this is a shoot, yeah, Josh Barnett 9 times out of 10 probably would beat a lot of people. We also had Chris Dickinson pulled off the biggest upset of his career, defeating Minoru Suzuki in the main event. You also had, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion, what I saw on Twitter, so far, the match of the week. Jon Moxley defeating the former Oni Lorcan, aka Biff Busick, in an absolute bloody war. That mat was covered in blood. That put the blood in Bloodsport. Look at that picture right there, ladies and gentlemen. Johnny Bloodsport made his debut as well, beating Simon Grimm in his official Cobra Kai gear. I loved it. I loved it so much. And Yura Uemura defeated Speedball Mike Bailey. But yeah, I would suggest if you guys haven't seen that one yet, please do, because that Moxley and Busick match is it's unreal. It's unreal for real. I mean, I
gotta watch you. Did you ask Renee about it this morning, or did you ask?
No, I was. We actually filmed it before this morning, but I did tell her I was rooting for AJ Gray, and she got upset with me. I was rooting for AJ Gray to beat Jon Moxley, and she was right in the end. She won that battle.
Yeah.
NXT 2.0 this week, they were the go home show to Stand and Deliver, which we will be previewing and giving our predictions for later in the show. They did 626,000 viewers. Cameron Grimes defeated Roderick Strong and A-Kid to advance to the North American title ladder match at Stand and Deliver. Toxic Attraction took out Wendy Chu, leading to Dakota Kai coming for revenge, and then Raquel Gonzalez made her return to make the save and reunited Kai and Gonzalez, the first ever women's tag team champions, to go after the women's tag gold. What did you think of all the ladies and basically taking aim at Toxic Attraction stuff?
I mean, I love. I just told you guys, I love a faction. Right? It just gives you so many different angles to go with. However, how are you just gonna get rid of Wendy Chu? Chu Crew, baby. Like, what? Why? I mean, I get this is the first time I think NXT will be back in like an arena. Is that correct?
Yeah, outside of Orlando. Yeah.
So I'm assuming they went with the names that people will probably know more, like Dakota and Raquel. So I get it. but they don't get it. So I'm hoping Wendy does like a sleeper hold or something on Raquel and like takes her out. I don't know, but I'm excited for it. And Toxic Attraction is just great. I don't think they'll be dropping those titles unless Vince is making the call. I don't think they're dropping the titles.
I don't know. The way they cut that promo, it made it feel like this is kind of like them, the lead up to them losing everything. But I'll save my predictions when we talk about Stand and Deliver. WWE Raw, they had 1.979 million viewers. Probably, their highest since post SummerSlam back in August. The show featured Universal Champion Roman Reigns and WWE Champion Brock Lesnar giving their final promos ahead of Mania. You also had Bobby Lashley return from injury and accepted the challenge of Omos for WrestleMania 38. And in a tremendous angle, you also had Bianca Belair return and was attacked by Becky Lynch, who had scissors to cut Bianca's ponytail. And I heard all of Black Twitter on biting their nails and getting ready to spit fire on social media, only for Belair to cut Lynch's hair in the process. Great angle to kind of build some more animosity between the two ladies. Joe, I know you don't watch. You're like the opposite end of Steph. You don't watch much WWE, but has WWE done anything to make you anticipate Saturday and Sunday night WrestleMania 38?
Let me tell you something, guys, okay? This is going to be as honest as I can be here. In a world of good wrestling matches and everyone doing the same moves, I cannot wait to see what Bobby Lashley attempts to do with Omos. That to me, and anyone that knows me knows I'm being sincere.
Yeah, I know.
That to me is what wrestling is all about. Because I don't think Omos has taken a bump.
He took one. It was on Monday.
Took one. He went down on his back. Took him about 10 minutes to get up, and then it was like a whole.
It took 18 months for him to take one bump.
And Bobby is fresh off a shoulder injury, and he's Harold's Bobby now, 45. God, he looks incredible. He's great, but they're going to go out there and try to have a match, and that's the sort of thing that I'm into. I'll be watching that one close. Edge and AJ are going to go like 25 minutes to have a great match, and I'll watch.
They're about to put on a clinic. What do you mean?
See? Well, maybe, but you never. This is.
They're going to. Someone's going to a clinic.
Exactly. That's the truth of it. To me, that's the truth. Now, in all seriousness, the Becky Bianca stuff looks like it's been pretty good from what I've seen. I can't sit here and give you like strong criticism. I don't watch enough of it. I see clips. I don't think the card is particularly strong, to be totally honest. But I haven't seen a lot of the build, so I can't be like damning. It's not particularly interesting to me, but that's whatever. I like a lot of nerdy shit, so it's fine.
Sorry.
Stephanie, how much were you watching that whole angle with Bianca and Becky? Because you're like the spokesperson for Becky Lynch on social media, but at the same time you're a Black woman, so how important the hair
understand.
is.
Look, I'm gonna let you guys know something. I talk to Becky consistently, and I expressed to her as a Black woman who loves her to death, I did not want her getting backlash if they were going that way. The storyline was never going that way. But when she picked up the scissors, so I was reassured that was not happening. Like in general, like Bianca's hair was not being cut. I was reassured of that. So when she grabbed the scissors on TV, I'm still sitting there like, holy shit, did they change their mind? Like, what was happening? Like, I was like freaking out, man, because I was like, even though it would get incredible heat, it's not the kind of heat I want bouncing back on the person behind Becky Lynch, because we know how much she supports the Black community. So for me, I was just like, Jesus, don't go here. Don't do it. Don't do it. And so when they turned it and they ended up cutting her hair, I was like, holy shit. Like, I wasn't expecting that either. So I thought it did exactly what it's supposed to do. It got people talking. I think Black Twitter, for the most part, was pretty amped that she got her ass whooped, haircut. I don't know. It did exactly what it's supposed to do. I think, you have a pissed, unhinged Becky now, and then you have fed up, I'm about to beat your ass, Bianca. It actually gave me I had a little taste of the NXT Bianca in there. That aggressiveness. And I loved it. So I'm like, I just made me more excited for Saturday. I'm excited.
My only nitpick of the angle is I feel like it should have been 3 weeks ago. Instead of doing the whole injury angle with taking out Bianca, which she came out perfectly fine on Monday as well. You should have done that 3 weeks ago. I would have been more into Becky Lynch's promo. I think it was great, but it would have been like fantastic, one of the best of the whole year, in my opinion, if it would have happened after the haircut. I feel like that would have made more sense with everything she was saying.
Switch the 2 Raws, switch.
Yeah, switch
and have
the 2. Yeah, and then Bianca can cut a promo, and then all you had to do on this show is like video packages. I felt like it was kind of late in the game to do that angle where I felt like this was like, it feels like a bitter rivalry now. Like that, there's no more hollowness about this. It's not about Becky saying, "Oh, the fans chose Bianca over Becky," which I still don't really believe that. But
we can have a whole conversation about this, sir. Me and you. I saw you on Twitter. I'm like, now hold on.
Hey, I still hear the fans cheering for Becky every time she comes out. She's one of the best all-time baby faces. I would put her in the same...
end of that segment? You deserve it.
Oh, yeah.
That look, she's doing her job. Now, yes, I'm still gonna cheer her ass. But I'm gonna be cheering for Bianca on Saturday.
Stephanie. You're the problem.
I'm gonna be cheering for Bianca on Saturday, though. Look, I have her shirt on. Like, look, I thank you, Alex. Thank you. I'm one of those people who will cheer for her and Bianca. I am the problem. But I think she's doing her job, right? She's getting people talking. No, but like, I don't know. I think she's doing some of the best work for her, character-wise. Like, she's been a great heel, not maybe in your traditional sense. Like, a lot of people were like, why are you turning this huge baby face heel? But she wanted to put other women up and over. And the best way to do that is not having people fully cheer her on, but get heat. She's getting heat.
Yeah, I just feel like, I loved and enjoyed Stone Cold Steve Austin in 2001. Stone Cold was a very good heel, but he's one of the best baby faces of all time. And that's Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is one of the greatest WWE baby faces of all time. That's not the person to turn heel when they return. That's just me. That's if I was in
the timing of it.
If I had the pencil, I wouldn't have done that.
The timing of it, I would have brought her back face. I would have had her, maybe lose a couple matches, like kind of slow build that heel turn, and then make her fully heel. I think I just would have extended that a bit, but they wanted her to do it right out the gate, and I guess that's what
she's done the best with what they given her.
It's hard because most great wrestlers like being heels. If they find it more fun, it has more depth. But a lot of the time, those great wrestlers need to be baby faces because the people love them. Now, I agree. I actually saw the segment, and the "You Deserve It" chants were awesome because that's old school wrestling. That popped me. But there is definitely...
it goes full circle. She got "You Deserve It" chants right after she won those 2 belts in WrestleMania 35.
That's cool.
It was "You Deserve It" chants on Raw, and now she's getting "You Deserve It" chants for getting her hair cut and her ass whooped. So I'm like, that's great story. That's a great story.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Love it. And then we have a question here, I guess, for Joe. You're not excited for Stone Cold from Wrestling Lowdown Show?
To be totally honest, I just don't know what that is. And I'm not, and I swear, like, I'm not. I don't
None of us do. It's a KO show, I guess.
But have you seen how people are talking about it? Like, they seem to talk about like they know what's happening. I don't. If it's just if he comes out with the trunks and the vest, I'll be pumping my fist. I'll be fired up. But I'm not, it's the KO show right now. So I can only be so excited for that. It's what it is. I mean, it's difficult.
Yeah, I talk to people, we've done previews. I've done previews pretty much everywhere that I usually do content for. And I've heard multiple people tell me like, oh no, the bell's going to ring. They're going to have a match. I was like, all right, okay, if that's what you think.
If the bell is going to ring, you'd advertise it as a match. Like,
but I think they want you to be surprised, I'm assuming. Like,
it's weird.
Is it going to? So in my head, which I would think that most people are going to think, it's going to be him coming down. They're going to talk shit, stunner, beer, throw, celebrate, which is not a horrible way to close out Mania. Agreed. Don't get me wrong. Like you're partying, right? The party continues the next day. It's actually a good little bridge, but that's what people expect. So is he actually going to bump?
Yeah, see, I think you're going to get a brawl. I think you're going to get a brawl. I don't think the bell is going to ring personally because
You don't?
No, because and this is just me guessing. I don't know anything, but to me, if they're going to do anything that's technically a match, I would advertise it as such. That's my only thing. I think you'll see them brawl, and there'll be some excitement. And I agree with you; it's actually a cool way to end night one as like a bridge. That's a good term for it. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me to get excited because I just don't know what it's going to be. But I'm sure. I mean, it's Kevin Owens and Steve Austin, right? It'll be fun. I'm sure it'll be fun.
I think I'm just excited to hear the glass break. Because I know when the glass breaks, I'm just gonna get so hyped. Like I don't care what he's gonna do, but I'm just gonna get so excited. I think.
I've mentioned this before, Joe. Tell me what you think. Is there some part of Stone Cold Steve Austin that's like, I want The Rock to be my final match?
That's what I think.
If I'm gonna have a fight here, let it be unsanctioned or a talk show or whatever.
But that's what they should have done. They should have advertised it as an unsanctioned fight. That's what I said from the beginning.
My guess is that is exactly the case, and that he doesn't want it to be any kind of match fight, anything that's like an advertised thing, because then that makes it his last. Even if it's unsanctioned, does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to do a brawl, he's going to do some physicality, but he doesn't want it to be a 5-minute match as his last of his career. It'll be a segment rather than a match. The actual thing will be the same, I
think in this promo video, he said something about whatever it's going to be, the show, Raw. Like he even said, like, he just kind of he left it open. So to your point, Joe, I think he doesn't want it to be called a match. It's not his final match, possibly, but
they're tippy-toeing around that for sure. But also what we missed this week very quickly, you had Impact on Access TV last night. Rosemary won a number one contenders battle royal to get a shot at the Impact Knockouts World Championship. In the main event, a great tag team matchup with Jay White and Chris Bay defeating the Motor City Machine Guns. You also had the Wrestlecon Super Show, which is like a smorgasbord of freaking wrestling. Like you had Timothy Thatcher and Tomohiro Ishii in a hard-hitting clash with Ishii getting the victory. You had the Briscoes beat the Rottweilers of Low Key and Homicide in an ROH throwback match. You had Bandito and Speedball Mike Bailey in one of the best matches I saw throughout all the shows that went on yesterday. Bandito getting the victory, and the fans threw dollar bills into the ring because they were so impressed with what those guys accomplished there. And you also had Mia Yim make her in-ring return to defeat Athena. I know serving face and heels are definitely got to talk about this match after you and Krssi watched that one. And you also had Taya Valkyrie making her return to U.S. Square Circle, and she beat her husband, Johnny WrestleCon, on this one. Johnny WrestleCon in a Dirty Dishes match. This is what Double J and China should have been, ladies and gentlemen.
This was awesome. Everyone has to see this match. This was awesome.
I need to go watch it. I obviously saw previews and heard of it, but I need to go watch it. Everyone keeps saying it was actually really good.
Go out of your way to watch that for sure. You had New Japan Pro Wrestling, the New Japan Cup finally was the finale. They had the finals with Zack Sabre Jr., your UK brethren, Joe. Zack Sabre Jr. defeating Tetsuya Naito with the Zack Driver to win his New Japan Cup. He will now face Kazuchika Okada at Hyperfest on Saturday, April 9th. We won't be able to preview that, but we will review it next week right here on Tru Heel Heat. And Zack Sabre Jr. had one of the best promos ever I've heard. He said that he was concussed by Tetsuya Naito and had a hallucination where he talked to I think it was what's his name? I forget the singer's name.
A singer? I haven't seen this. This sounds incredible.
Yes. He's like, I talked to him in my hallucination, and he's like, oh, I'm getting ready to perform, Zach. He was like, oh no, I just wanted to ask you, what should I do to win the New Japan Cup? And he tells me, oh, just use the Techers. He was like, well, I've been using the Techers and it hasn't been working. And he was like, well, use the Zack Driver. I gotta go do this concert. And so I did the Zack Driver again, and I won.
George Michael.
Yes, George Michael. That's his idol. He always mentions George Michael. That was a great damn promo. Reese is saying it in the live chat as well. Thank you so much for that. But yes, George Michael. He talked to George Michael in his hallucinogen. But were you impressed or were you surprised that Zack Sabre Jr. won his second New Japan Cup, Joe?
No, he's like a top guy, fringe top guy there, right? And he's someone that can always be heated up when necessary. I only saw clips of this latest run. I'm so out on New Japan right now. It's a shame. But he's getting that kind of that buzz back again of, people putting his name forward as one of the top 5 guys in the world, which you could argue he's always been. It's just the way the industry flows. You see it go up and down, right? But he was straight back in that conversation with this New Japan Cup run. I need to see more of it. He's doing great. I mean, he's been working Japan consistently for a long time now. He was a Noah guy for a stretch before he was getting booked in New Japan. So, yeah, he's doing tremendously. It didn't surprise me, but it's pretty cool, I must say.
Yeah, it felt like kind of like a reward because he's like one of the main guys who's like not from Japan, who stayed out there during the pandemic. He even said it in his promo. He's like, I've been out here for 2 years while other guys like Ospreay, Jay White, they went back. I've stayed here. And he was like, I've earned this opportunity. He even knows a little bit of Japanese. He was cutting his promo in the ring, cutting a little bit of Japanese as well. And yes, I was going to say, we can't have a New Japan conversation without the Zack Sabre Jr. stick figure for our New Japan Cup winner. Very well done by Romeo, as per usual. Thank you. Yes, we got to get into the news rundown. There was a lot of news throughout the week, and one news that Joe has been dreading to talk about, as a new report from PW Insider suggested that Shane McMahon is not done with WWE, ladies and gentlemen. Just when you think he's gone, he's back. He's back, and apparently noting that Shane McMahon was previously set to appear at the Elimination Chamber 2022 to set up a feud for WrestleMania with Seth Rollins. According to the report, the PW Insider has confirmed with multiple sources that Shane McMahon is scheduled to be in Dallas for the entirety of WrestleMania. Yes, he should come out to the Cody song and in the clothes and everything. Speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer reported that the WWE creative team and people high up on the food chain believe Shane is simply coming in so he can be at the Hall of Fame with Vince McMahon, inducting The Undertaker, and he'll probably hang around at Mania, but is not expected to actually be involved with anything or appear on screen. So my question for the both of you, first, Steph, Shane McMahon, is he going to be on WrestleMania 38?
I think he is. I fully think he is. I mean, you can't be in Dallas and be a McMahon and not be on WrestleMania. Look, I still don't believe the whole Cody thing. I'm one of those, see it when I believe it when I see it. However, I could totally see them pulling an okie doke on people and bringing Shane out, while Seth's standing in the ring and everyone's like, what the, you know what I mean? Like, I could see him pulling an okie doke and then, end up being somebody else. Or he squashes Shane real quick and someone else comes out to fight him or something. But I think Shane will be on. It's Shane. Look, people want to hate on it, but Shane and Seth would actually put on a clinic. Like, they would actually put on a really good match, guys.
I mean, maybe
Shane
5
delivers.
years ago. Maybe 5 years ago. I haven't seen a good Shane McMahon in the past good Shane McMahon match in the past 5 years. His stuff with Styles, his stuff with Styles at WrestleMania 33 was really good. His stuff with Kevin Owens in 2017 was really good. But that was 5 years ago. I only remember the Miz stuff from the past 5 years, and none of that was really good.
You're right. As far as wrestling goes, yes. The spots, though. He's jumping off the Mania banner or some shit. Like, look. Sports entertainment.
JJ saying Shane McMahon versus The Miz was amazing. Of course. Joe, do you think Shane McMahon will be at WrestleMania? And do you think they are going to at least do a swerve of him coming out to be Seth Rollins' opponent?
I'm offended. I'm mad. This is a threat against my grin. I'm very upset. I thought I had escaped Shane McMahon talk for the rest of my life and career. Apparently I have not. I lasted like 2 months without it. I will never, ever shake the thought of him wrestling Seth Rollins from my brain. That will stick with me now to the end of time.
You're welcome.
So with that in mind, I will just say, I hope to not see him this weekend at WrestleMania. I hope he has a wonderful time. Not in front of the camera.
Reese said he just jumps. Correct. Sports entertainment, Reese. Yes, you're correct, sir.
Oh, that's as nice as I can be.
Sorry, Joe.
That's fun.
Shane McMahon, he gives Joe a late night frown.
Grimace, brother. Grimace. We go. Grimace is like our
Grimace,
alternative.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The grimace. The grimace is real.
Yeah.
Here comes the money.
I mean, like, in all seriousness, like if he actually comes out, it'll probably be funny. So like, but when Kevin Owens super kicked him twice directly in the chest and he didn't bump and just threw Kevin out, I was like, no, this is the end. No more. Never again. But he's harmless, bless him. Anyway, carry on.
I just want to see the punches all day. Fightful Select.
I want a moving graphic. Give me a moving graphic
of that. Yes. Fightful Select had some better news, had some good news here this week, as WWE had a big talent meeting on Friday, and Fightful was told that John Laurinaitis kicked off the meeting by saying he had a guest in attendance, and it was none other than the recently retired Triple H, who hasn't been seen by most talent since August. Fightful reports it was an emotional scene, with many elated that he was there. He discussed his health challenges and introduced WWE President Nick Khan, who he called a friend of over 10 years. Nick Khan provided key business updates, including the news that talent will now make additional money and profit participation on top of their superstar contracts for revenue generated from third-party platforms. Fightful was told that this includes cameo, autograph signings, scripted and unscripted programming. Fightful heard back from a half dozen talent who said it was a great and unanimously positive meeting, and one noted that it was a great way to start a big weekend. Are you happy that WWE superstars are finally able to get those third-party profits once again, Joe?
I am, but the real story here is that the power is back. Triple H is back. He has made one of those great Triple H moves in which he is the babyface. I assume the bat signal will be going up, and I'm sure Samoa Joe will be returning shortly. He's back, Black and gold is back. He never goes away. He's very. He knows what he's doing. No, but in all seriousness, it's very cool. A rare story we can all just say good. You don't have to argue it. We can just go, that's good stuff. So I'm happy for the talent. Obviously, that's good stuff.
Very rare we get those with WWE, so I'm always happy when it's something very positive that comes out of like those type of meetings, because you usually hear some bad stuff. Romeo?
SP3, I didn't hear it specifically. Do you know if that includes Twitch?
Yeah. It includes all third-party platforms, basically. So, we might see AJ Styles back on Twitch again. We'll start seeing performers outside of NXT back on Twitch again. So it's a fun time. It's good news to start off WrestleMania weekend for those talents. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that WWE has gone back and forth over what will main event WrestleMania Saturday, tomorrow night on television. Kevin Owens said that his segment with Steve Austin will go on last. Earlier this week, Ronda Rousey said she was in the main event with Charlotte Flair. Until this week, the plan had been for Flair versus Rousey as the main event for night one. However, that has changed multiple times backstage, with Owens saying during a scripted interview that likely means his segment will now close the show. It's possible that Rousey was not told of the change, or that Vince McMahon changed his mind again, or that they technically feel that both are the main event because one is a match and one is not. The match order for events always change until the show begins, and this could still change before showtime tomorrow. Most feel the Austin segment should go on last because nobody will leave before it. There is a risk of fans leaving for Rousey versus Flair, as they would have already seen Austin, and WWE has made other changes to the lineup in recent days, with the Seth Rollins match going from Sunday to Saturday, and Edge versus AJ Styles going from Sunday to Saturday, then back to Sunday. Stephanie, what do you think will main event night one of WrestleMania?
So we have four things we're talking about, right? Four options, if you will. Rousey, Flair, Austin, KO. You have Seth versus Vacant.
Good old Vacant.
If Cody shows up, I need him to have tattoo removal or something. I'm gonna be laughing as soon as he hits the stage. And then of course you have Becky and Bianca. Look, what should main event is a match. But I could see it's Austin, right? You want to send the crowd home happy. Again, it's a good bridge to night two. He's cheersing everybody. There's beers everywhere. So I could see them doing something different and just closing with whatever they're doing. No. No. Romeo
Romeo
really
playing games.
not happy. Corbin. And look, I love Corbin, guys. I love him. But I need him to be broke again. I think that KO will close. I think Becky and Bianca will open, and I think KO and Austin will close.
I believe. I think so as well. What about you, Joe?
I don't know. You've really excited me with this vision. I saw myself of like when you said about people leaving for Ronda and Charlotte. Like I imagine me if I was there, which I'm absolutely definitely never going to WrestleMania again. That was exhausting. They're still recovering.
Which one
It's
did you
2
go
nights
to?
though. Now.
Yeah, see, I was at 34 in New Orleans that went on. I think
me
the
too.
main event is just wrapping up. I think they've just yeah.
So
yeah,
little
those
known
one-night things.
Little known story: Romeo did in fact walk out of Brock versus Roman. He literally left before the match started.
And I would, if I was there, and Bad Reputation was playing, and it was like 3 hours 30, and I'd say, you know what, guys, it's been a hell of a night. You know, see you tomorrow night.
Good luck to y'all.
Know? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but,
I don't think Ronda and Charlotte have enough hype around it. Like they have the name, they have Flair, they have Rousey, but I can't find Romeo, did you get the clip? I can't find not that, but did you get the clip I sent you? No, because there's just this story. What's the story? It's just I don't know, guys. There's no hype around it. I can't see people staying and being like, I really want to see this.
They're trying to make each other tap out, but it's not a submission match. That's the story, basically. Basically, what I got from the last 9 to 10 weeks of television between the two is that they're trying to make each other tap out with their submission holds.
We got tapped to like 3 or 4 different people. Love you,
yes.
Romeo. She's tapped to like 3 or 4 other people.
Yes, in fact, she
Isn't
has.
it a big cliffhanger? Anyway.
Mr. JJ with a super chat donation. Thank you so much. Of course, those really help us out. So anyone else who wants to send those, that's how you highlight your comment here. We got JJ saying, how do we all feel Jeff Jarrett invading Triple A show? Joe?
I don't know, man. That rules. I don't know. It's Jeff Jarrett invading something. He could invade this show and I'd be popping. He's Jeff Jarrett, you know? Listen, if he's watching, he's welcome to invade any show that I'm on or hosting. Or it's Jeff Jarrett, you know the rules. It's very simple.
I'm gonna add him on Twitter next time. Be like, can you invade our show, please?
Yes.
Here's the link.
Send him the link. And pretend we're surprised. Yeah.
What?
No, he is following me on Twitter, so I'm gonna tag him. I might like that. Yeah.
Now we're realizing we messed up.
Jeff Jarrett invasion.
This could have been a thing. We could have booked him, you know.
Why didn't we book this?
Hey, I'm gonna reach out again. I reached out maybe like a couple months back when he first followed me, but I'll throw another feeler out there and see. Like, come on, Double J, look at the screenshot. People want you to invade True Heel.
There's an invasion angle here.
Exactly. You can invade with everything. We could talk about your podcast, talk about what's your best song. Like, come on. I'm pumping my fist. Absolutely. PW Insider reports that Asuka and Bayley have been seen in Dallas, Texas for the WrestleMania 38 weekend. No confirmation if they will be on the show or on Raw after Mania at this time. The PW Insider also reports that after his return on WWE TV on Monday, Bobby Lashley is now listed as a babyface on WWE's internal roster. So, I mean, hey, Roman Reigns, that's a fresh matchup. We only seen it like once. Give me that after WrestleMania. That'd be nice. WWE also, Andrew Zarian of Figure4Online.com says that WWE's next date in Saudi Arabia will actually be WWE TLC. So basically, they're getting all the stipulation pay-per-views out there. Next up is Money in the Bank. I'm calling it now. It now. Speaking of WrestleMania plans, Wrestling Observer Radio Dave Meltzer says that at this time the plans is still to have The Rock come in for WrestleMania 39 in Los Angeles, but the belief backstage is that The Rock wants to do the match and it would likely be the main event. The issue is that Rock's busy schedule, which could derail everything, but WWE believes that The Rock won't back out because he really wants it and time is running out on him being able to do the match. Any inside information you can give us, Stephanie, since The Rock is your best friend now?
Since he follows me, guys, I don't know if you saw.
Check out the post on Stephanie's Twitter.
I haven't reached out to him yet. I'll DM him. Maybe also propose an invasion angle here. Yeah, no, I hope he is at 39. I'm going to be at 39. I already have my hotel. Like it's going to be huge, right? It's Hollywood, so they're going to do it big. So I'm really excited for it. I think he's going to show up at the end of 38 and stand across from Roman. And we're going to get started.
There you go. We got Reese in the chat who says Jeff Jarrett's going to be Tully's client on Supercard of Honor. So we already got a quick prediction here.
That might be too far. I was with it, but that may have been a step too far. But I respect it, Reese. I do respect it.
Rock JJ with rock and guitar invasion. Absolutely. But I know a lot of people came for Stephanie Hypes. A lot of people came for Joe Hulbert on this episode of Tru Heel Heat. Remember to always drop a thumbs up on this video, share it with your friends, subscribe if you are new. But I know a lot of people come for the hottest segment in wrestling podcast. Stephanie knows it. This is Joe's first experience of it. Strap on your seatbelts. Put on your helmets, because we're going to the Codyverse. It's the latest edition of As the Codyverse Turns. Appearing with Denise Salcedo, Dave Meltzer was asked what he believes the reaction would be if WWE swerved the fans and had someone else face Rollins at WrestleMania, not Cody Rhodes. Meltzer said and answered, depending on who it is, it better be somebody good because everyone expects it and they kind of have to deliver it, I suppose. If it's not him, it's his choosing. It's not theirs. They believe it's him. They believe that's the guy. If for whatever reason he backs out, because he's going to back out, I don't expect that to happen. But I know people close to him who do. So what the hell? We'll have to see how it plays out. Cody Rhodes is serving as a producer on a new Dusty Rhodes documentary, according to a new report from Fightful Select. Rhodes is producing a documentary focusing on his iconic father's legacy. An official announcement is expected to be out in the next few weeks. And just to add on to the speculation for WrestleMania 38 weekend, WWE Shop revealed some new Dusty Rhodes merchandise today as part of the Marquee Classic collection. And that has been this week in As the Codyverse Turns.
Joe's reaction is just fucking great, man. Oh my god.
I've been doing this for a long time, you know.
I'm in tears.
It's about 3 months ago, SP3, he was gracious enough to join us on a Cody Rhodes roundtable, and I said, this is it. I'm not talking about him again. And then he left, and then I had to do an emergency stream, and then, you know, I have my limits, man. I have my limits. You know?
I love the reactions. Adrenaline is truly in our soul.
Thanks.
It's all smoke and mirrors, Joe.
AC Slacker says, oh, fuck, I forgot my helmet. That's a great comment. Oh, my God. Nick Johnson with laughing emojis. And Film Nation BTS, who is the biggest fan of As the Codyverse Turns, says, SP3, my man, that was phenomenal. Great Codyverse episode. And this may be the very last As the Codyverse Turns episode, if he does debut at WrestleMania or the Raw after WrestleMania. So it's been real. I've appreciated the ride.
One more. You have to do one more with the update, like on the Codyverse Turns. You know what I mean? You have to do like he's here.
You're right.
One more.
When we recap WrestleMania 38, you'll get the finale of As the Codyverse Turns, ladies and gentlemen. There's one more to go. Stephanie is right. That wasn't the finale. That was the penultimate.
Ready for it to end.
That was the penultimate episode right there. The penultimate.
I'm not ready.
Joe's face. We just need the screenshot of that. That's gonna be the thumbnail now.
You know, you know me well enough. A year ago, I may have been performative there. I may have sold. I may have got excited. I'm not doing that for Cody Rhodes anymore. I just sat here. You know, this is my reaction. It's fine.
You're saying if he shows up this weekend, you're gonna get pretty hype.
Well, there's a level of enjoyment I'll get. Here's the thing, on SP3 knows this. We've had a lot of fun about it before. I like Cody. I just hate when one story fills the news for this long. Like it's enough, like just let him show up and let it go with. I'm interested to see how he does in WWE. I just am tired of like Dave talking about if he's gonna no show. Come on, bro. Like you no show.
Like Dave has a daily update.
It's nuts.
I heard today that it's still a maybe. I'm like, why are we reporting this?
Yes.
Either he's signed or he's not signed. Is he gonna back out?
He's gonna be there. There's no way he's backing out.
If he backs out, like, was he rip up the contract? Is that?
It's nuts.
Never mind.
So that's my thing. It isn't a knock on him. It's just like at some point, let's just get on with it. Like it's enough.
I agree.
I hear you and agree 100%. See, even my daughter's excited about the Codyverse turns. We got in the live chat, JOS says, very good at what you do. Thank you. We always appreciate the love here. What we got to talk about AEW news, which we just talked about one of their founding fathers. You had MJF's recent interview with Ariel Helwani reportedly resulted in a heated discussion between the AEW star and AEW president Tony Khan. MJF did an interview with Helwani over the weekend in which he discussed his contract status and more. And then Fightful reports that the interview led to a discussion between MJF and Khan that left both men frustrated. According to the report, MJF has been frustrated with his contract status as of late. And yes. Okay, you wanted to read that part? You just wanted to read that part for the people? Say hi, Harlem. Your Harlem running, ladies and gentlemen. She heard about the Codyverse turns and she was like, I couldn't miss it.
This is a different kind of invasion than I expected. Hell of an angle this is you shooting.
Absolutely.
You DM'd your daughter instead of Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, it went to Harlem instead of Double J Jeff Jarrett. I'm sorry. Yes, absolutely.
It's okay. I appreciate her invasions completely.
Everybody does. According to the report, MJF has been frustrated with his contract status as of late, and that Khan took issue with the interview being set up without notifying AEW's PR team. The people that the site spoke to didn't believe there would have been any issue with the interview or the topics being said. Dave Meltzer shared more details, and according to Meltzer, there was a situation between Khan and MJF, but the matter between them has been reportedly settled. The issue reportedly stemmed from MJF not setting up the interview through AEW's public relations team. And during his interview, he did note that his contract expires on January 1st, 2024. Fightful Select reported a follow-up saying that it went smoother when they had a second conversation on Monday, and MJF reportedly continues to be frustrated by his contract, while Khan was more concerned about the precedent that it would set for the rest of the talent. Joe, what do you think about this heated discussion with MJF and Tony Khan? And do you believe that MJF should be in the top 5 paid performers in All Elite Wrestling?
Top 5 is difficult for me. He should be in the top tier. Top 5 is hard. I'd have to really think. But this stuff's inevitable. It just is the way things work. Like, if he has almost he has just under 2 years left on his deal. He ain't gonna be rushing to extend that. Tony isn't, because he doesn't have to. But yeah, he should probably be getting paid more than what I would assume he's getting paid. I mean, they've brought in some massive talent, some big names that are probably making a lot more money than MJF is. So
yes,
yeah, he probably deserves more than he's getting, because he's on the TV show every week, cutting in-ring promos and being a centerpiece of the show. Obviously, it's hard because I don't know what he's on compared to, but my guess is that, yeah, he's probably got a gripe, but that's how this stuff works, right? I'm sure they'll figure it out, pretty shortly, I would guess. So we'll see.
What do you think, Steph? Do you think that they need to make MJF happy, or you're going to see him more in WWE in the future?
I think he's an AEW lifer. I truly believe that. To his point, he has a point. He's delivering, right? So Tony has brought in some big names. I feel, they especially their fans, spout, homegrown, right? Like, oh, the pillars. MJF is one of the pillars to me. Like, you need to pay the man. So whenever it does come up, I hope he gets what he's asking for. I don't necessarily see him making that flip to WWE. The only thing I think might change that is how they treat Cody Rhodes. If Cody Rhodes is there, if they treat him right, it is very possible that MJF might flip. I don't know. He seems like a lifer, so we'll see. But pay him.
Romeo?
Yeah, Film Nation is onto something here. Are we gonna have like these MJF reports every week for the next damn 2 years?
Yes.
My God.
The
Can you
MJF
get a
curse.
scarf? Can you wear a scarf while you do it?
My wife, she actually got me the MJF scarf, so you might be on to something.
Wear
You might be
it.
on to something there. Got a new angle to go. Speaking of contract, Marco Stunt's AEW stint is coming to an end, according to the latest update on him. Yes, you're taller than him. I agree. As what has been reported, Stunt's contract with AEW is set to expire in May, and he hasn't been factored into creative plans or been seen at Dynamite backstage. According to Fightful Select, they have confirmed that Stunt is leaving AEW. Stunt was called by Christopher Daniels in Talent Relations and informed that the company would not be renewing his contract. And the site notes that Danielson cited large roster and budget cuts and creative plans changing for Jurassic Express as the reasons for the decision. The conversation is said to have gone well, and the split is amicable between the two sides. Joe, what do you think about the Twitter outrage with people comparing this to WWE's use of budget cuts?
Yeah, I mean, that's silly. But I will say that I would probably have recommended against using that term, to be totally honest.
Yeah.
Well, that was a weird choice. The Marco thing's a bummer. Like, look, I don't think anyone being objective can argue against the idea that, like, they've probably, with all of the guys they've added, they've probably gone past the need of Marco. And I mean that with, like, I have no issue with the guy. Like, people were real spiteful about it. I thought he was a fun addition to the show. He probably served his purpose. You know, it's a bummer. It always is. It isn't a good comparison with guys getting cut a week after signing 5-year deals. But at the end of the day, I will say that from some of the stuff that was said by Janela especially, I think there's probably evidence that, like, the communication needs to be better, right? Like, it seemed kind of weird that he got concussed and just, like, that was it. There's no more talk, and then they tried to let him go. That's not ideal. Yeah, I'd recommend against using that particular phrasing, but I don't think anyone's surprised that Marco is not getting re-upped. And I don't mean that as any kind of dig at the guy. It's just like, that roster's changed a lot since it first started. Like, it is what it is, you know, it's a shame.
Very, very true, in fact. And someone who did sign a major deal with them recently was Miro. He re-upped it for 4 years, and apparently he's been in New York working on a television product, according to Fightful Select, for a TBS pilot show. He's done some film work in the past during his time off, and we also learned that CJ Perry has done multiple upcoming television projects. Miro is currently in Brooklyn filming a television pilot, and according to his page on IMDb, he is a part of the potential series East New York, which is being filmed for CBS, and is an unknown if his role, that of Nikolai Duskik, is meant to be a recurring character or not. So Miro doing some Hollywood moves. I'm impressed. Miro's always had that type of personality for it too,
yeah.
and you've seen it.
Him and his wife. Him and his wife. I'm so happy for them. Like that. That's a perfect example of someone who got cut. And is making the most out of it, whether it's on AEW television or off. Same with his wife, right? She wasn't, I don't think, re-signed to a wrestling promotion, but she's acting, right? So I'm very happy for both of them, both very talented people. I'm excited for it. I just wanted to point out, Seth Rollins had tweeted a GIF of Marco Stunt on his Twitter, and everyone was like, "What?" Wait, because everyone else had been all WWE people. And then he tweeted the picture of Marco Stunt, and I'm like, now people are talking. They're like, what? Wait, are they really? And I'm like, come on, guys. He's trolling.
He's been great on social media. Yeah.
On it.
He's been taking notes from his wife. He's wife is impeccable at it. He wasn't too good a couple of years ago, but he's good at it now.
She might have the password. I don't know. I feel like she might be doing some of this.
In an interview with Strong Style Live, yes, all the gifts: Elias, John Cena, Rob Van Dam, Bailey, Scott Steiner, Mustafa Ali, Veer, Shane McMahon, and Marco Stunt. Yes.
And Ali is one of those in limbo, like kind of controversial ones as well, because it seems like they want to do something with him as far as like a story, but he's not feeling it, and so he's just sitting out.
Mm-hmm.
They won't release him. They won't give him his release. So here's my thing. Mania is happening, and the last couple times big pay-per-views happen, they do releases.
Yeah.
So if they're going to do releases again, and Ali's not in that, and you cite budget cuts, I'm gonna have even more issues, because I'm just like,
right.
You guys were talking about the AEW budget cut thing too.
Yeah.
Like same thing. Like maybe use a different term, because it already has such a negative connotation, especially with WWE. So maybe AEW is something different. Either way, they're business people. WWE is a business. AEW is a business.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. I'm sure there's better ways to have done a lot of this stuff, but it's in the end, it's a business. So people going, oh, we'll keep the same energy. Yeah, maybe, because WWE gets a lot of heat, but people aren't signing contracts to Sid's point and then getting released like 2 weeks later.
Yeah, I kind of expect, and then look, this is just a guess, but I have the sense Ollie won't be under contract much longer. I think he's going to be in that group of releases, and I only speculate on that because he clearly doesn't want to be there. Like,
yes,
the rest of the names, I don't know who wants to and who doesn't, so we'll let that figure itself out. But I kind of feel like he's going to get a release this week or next week, whatever. That's what because
I think so.
If you look at like FTR and Brody, like they made them wait for a little bit, and then they would go. So hopefully that's.
And
what
maybe
happens.
it's I don't know if you guys remember hearing about Sasha, but Vince kind of told her no when she asked for her release. Maybe it's like he wants you to sit on it for a while, like especially if they see something in you. Maybe he wants you to sit for a while and just make sure. And maybe that's what they're doing. Who knows? But just real quick, I just wanted to touch on the fact that they're letting them do the third party thing. I feel like a lot of talent, when they want to resign, are asking or bringing up, I want to do my Twitch streams, and I want to do Cameo, because it's extra money for them, right? And so maybe because so many people are asking for it, this is their way of ensuring that they resign, especially if they want to keep them. You know what I mean? So
Cesaro was back on Twitch last night.
Oh, nice.
And he said,
I heard that.
And he said there's going to be a lot more streams coming up. And a month ago, that would have meant he ain't going back. But now, as you said, now that it is a key thing in negotiation, and that's important because that roster actually, it needs a little help now. They've done a lot of cuts, like another round of cuts. That roster, I can't really afford to do that to me in terms of quality. The Royal Rumble was a really stark reminder of like, oh my God, they've lost a lot of good talent. So
SmackDown is suffering.
Yes, really thin. Really thin.
Yeah. SmackDown needs some help.
Bro, I forgot Cesaro was on the roster, man.
He's not anymore.
He's not. Just out there.
But to Joe's point, maybe now he will resign. I said resign, Lord. Resign if now he knows he can still do his Twitch and other things. So
Excuse me. He didn't get released. His contract expired because he couldn't reach an agreement with them. So we should see what's going to happen with him in the future. Also, the last bit of news notes, you had Tony Khan in an interview with Strong Style Live. He warned fans not to leave ROH Supercard of Honor early to attend other events that night, because he does have a lot of surprises in store for the event, which gonna lead us nicely into WrestleMania 38 weekend. And I'm doing this out of order, so Romeo, you're gonna have to go on the fly, since we just talked about ROH Supercard of Honor, and that's the show Joe is looking forward to the most. Let's talk about the show tonight, ROH Supercard of Honor, which they added a bunch of new matches and big stars to this show. We're gonna do predictions for the top matches here, and also prediction for who we think Ninja Mac is gonna verse Tully Blanchard's new client. Joe, any predictions on who you think Tully Blanchard's new client is going to be against Ninja Mac on this show?
This is so interesting because Tully is at a level where it could be a big name or an obscure name, and neither would surprise me. Does that make sense? Like, he doesn't feel like he's above a random indie. I'll just throw out there, I don't know what everyone's schedules are, so it's difficult. Someone like Thatcher would interest me. And I don't know if he's working tonight.
That's a good call. Yeah.
Because he's a guy that just gives some personality. Tully could help. Biff is interesting in the same lane. Very similar pick. They're ones that come to mind, but it could be like I don't think it'll be as big a name as Cesaro, for example. But like if it was, would I be shocked? Not necessarily, right? It's Tully. Like you could. So I'll go Timothy Thatcher. He probably is wrestling on one of the other 25 shows that are happening tonight. But I'll pick him. That's a really interesting one though, right? I don't know. It's hard. It's very difficult. It'll be fun to see.
And it came out of left field, so that's why I was very interested to see what you would say. And that was a name I didn't expect, Timothy Thatcher, who had a great match last night with Tomohiro Ishii. But Sladley, Stephanie, I know you have to run. You got to do the mommy duty. You got to work. You got to do everything. So please let the people know where they can find you on social media. I know you'll be tweeting throughout WrestleMania 38 weekend. And of course, you'll be here next Friday. I won't. Tru Heel Heat will be back on Saturday next week, but we will have a new episode of Serving Face and Heels right here on Tru Heel Heat.
Yes.
Let the people know where they can find you.
And actually, I'll be joining you guys Monday. I'm doing the watch along for Raw after Mania.
Yes, the Romeo Mania, because
Romeo
it's Romeo's
Mania's birthday. I will be with you guys on Monday. But you can find me on Twitter at Stephanie Hypes with a Z at the end. And I do Getting Raw with Steve Fall every Tuesday. We just didn't do it this week, but because Steve was a little under the weather. But we do Getting Raw, and you can catch me on Serving Face and Heels every other week with my co-host Krssi Luv. What? Shout out, girl. Right here on Tru Heel Heat's channel. So find me. I talk a lot. I apologize.
No, thank you so much, Stephanie. I can't wait to see the next episode of Serving Face and Heels. And thank you for filling in the big shoes of Miss Krssi Luv on this edition. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you for having me. Have fun Mania weekend. Woo!
Enjoy. And of course, she'll be talking about Mania weekend on Serving Face and Heels next week. And let's pop Romeo in here since he's in the background waiting. And he did want to tell Joe something. I know you have an endeavor that you're on today with all these shows we're about to preview, right?
Oh no.
Joe inspired me with his 12-hour stream.
Oh,
I'm probably going 12 hours tonight. I probably am.
okay.
I've already started. This counts, right? This counts? Yeah.
This counts.
So here's some tips, okay? Do not check how far you're into the process until you're in the second half. If you check,
you're gonna say the second hour.
I checked, and at one point I said, "Oh my god, we're only half an hour into this." That's a tough place to be. All right. Avoid energy drinks. They may seem like a good idea. They are not a good idea. Bad idea. Stop now. Jay Shell was like, I said, I'm not doing that because I have to be here. Okay. That's not what my stomach needs. That's not what I need right now. Okay. So stay hydrated, lots of water, which if I'm telling you that, trust me, I mean it because you see me drinking water on the air. I'm like, there you go. See, just take it.
I've already broken the first two rules you had, so I at least have to start one.
I'll stop there, but it'll be fine. You'll have fun. You have stuff to talk about this week at least, so it'll be easy.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. We'll get through these rapid fire because there's a lot of shows to preview, but back to ROH Super Card of Honor. Joe, who you got in a battle of AEW talent as it's going to be Jay Lethal going one-on-one with Lee Moriarty. Jay Lethal's getting a little bit more attention on AEW. Lee Moriarty, he's been mentioned in the Blackpool Combat Club storyline. Who do you think takes the win here?
My guess is that Lee will win because they're doing this arc with Jay of him, kind of losing his way. And I just think they'll use that as a chance to. I think Lee is someone you may see kind of regularly in Ring of Honor, which is a lot of fun in my mind. We'll see how it goes. But I think he could actually be kind of a top guy on that brand. So I'll take Lee Moriarty in this one.
I'm going to agree with Joe. I said it on AE Ramble. I think it's going to be further because he's lost to bigger stars. He's lost to the FTW champion and Ricky Starks. He's lost to Adam Cole, who was just in the AEW World Championship match. He lost to Jon Moxley, who's a former AEW World Champion, losing to a guy that, if you remember, a few months back, he tried to bring him under his wing when Leo Rush left. Jay Lethal was trying to be the mentor for Lee Moriarty. If Lee beats him, I think that's going to be further kind of making him go over the edge. Romeo, who you got?
I would like to see Lee win, but I think Jay Lethal's statistics and attributes increase by 10 when he's in an ROH setting. So I'm going with Jay Lethal.
That is a smart play. That was a good play there. We're gonna have a this is like a dream match here. You got Alex Zane going one-on-one with Swerve Strickland making his ROH debut. Who you think takes the win in this one, Romeo?
Swerve. Simple.
Joe?
Yeah, same for me. I think it's going to be a really good match. Swerve is everywhere right now. He did MLW last night, which I even got asked to do that, and I didn't do it. So he's really going for it. And yeah, Swerve's winning. I think it'll be a standout match, though, for sure.
I agree. I think Swerve's going to win. This is unanimous for him. Interim Women's Championship up for grabs as Deonna Purrazzo is going to be on Impact Wrestling Multiverse of Matches. So they're going to do an interim champion with Willow Nightingale going one-on-one with Mercedes Martinez. Mercedes is signed to AEW. Willow was kind of getting a lot of shine in ROH before the closure. Who walks out interim Women's Champion, Joe?
It feels like it should be Willow, but I don't think it will be because Tony has a contract with Mercedes Martinez, so he can kind of he knows what he's got there more in terms of dates and stuff. So I'll take Mercedes, but it feels like Willow should probably win. I just don't think she will, unfortunately.
Who you got, Romeo?
I agree with Joe. Mercedes.
Of course, bias.
No bias.
Bias. I'm gonna go with Mercedes only because the AEW connection. Yeah. It makes sense there. ROH Television Championship on the line. This was made just last night. I was amazed by this because I totally forgot that Rhett Titus was the TV champion, but he did win at Final Battle in a 4-way to become the TV champion there, and he's gonna verse New Japan Pro Wrestling's own Minoru Suzuki. I gotta see Suzuki win the TV title, so I'm going with Murder Grandpa. Joe, who you got?
Look, unless they're doing a really messy finish, Suzuki is not doing a job to Rhett Titus. And I've got love for Rhett Titus. He's a hell of a pro, but he ain't beaten Suzuki. So my guess is Suzuki just wins and the belt just like quietly gets retired because that's like, why not, right? It's Suzuki. So Suzuki's winning. I just don't know if he'll be the television champ necessarily. But yeah, the idea is hilarious. Like him doing like 10-minute TV matches in the studio. Tremendous.
I want that all day, Romeo.
Yeah, selfishly, I'm picking Suzuki just because I want to see it, but I don't know if that's a smart pick or not.
I don't know either, but Suzuki, please win the TV title for all of us. ROH Pure Championship is on the line. Josh Woods will defend against AEW's own Wheeler Yuta. Of course, Wheeler Yuta is involved in the Blackpool Combat Club storyline. Who do you think wins here? I've got to go to the number one Wheeler Yuta hater or critic, Romeo.
Is that what you call a realist? Well, I didn't know that. You could mix those two words together. As much as I see Wheeler Yuta, I know one thing's for certain: he loses. So I'm going with Woods here.
Joe,
I don't know if you guys saw, but Regal was going to be there tonight. That news has come out in the last hour. So,
oh wow, no, I did not know that.
That kind of feels like a spoiler for the match, you know? Like, I think Yuta is going to win the belt in front of Regal and that will advance the angle they're doing on TV. So, and I think we may get some Pure Rules title matches on AEW TV, which will be interesting to see the tweets that brings onto my timeline. I definitely won't get mad about that at any point over the next couple of months.
I would love that, and Josh Woods has been on Dark a lot lately, so it wouldn't be out the Romano. Put it on Dark. We've been asking for a Dark champ. Put the Pure title on Dark. Why not?
Can I please tell Joe my idea? Please.
Go ahead.
All this hype about Wheeler Yuta. What if he loses and Josh Woods is the one that impresses William Regal?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I have to be very careful when I talk about Josh Woods because our friend Jay Shell is a huge fan, and she lashes out when I say anything even slightly to me. So yeah, I'll just say great idea. I love it. Great idea. She might be watching this, man. I don't know.
You probably popped her with that one.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with Wheeler Yuta just because Joe informed me. I was legitimately going with Josh Woods because of what Romeo says. Wheeler Yuta loses, but if William Regal is gonna be there, Wheeler Yuta needs to win this one. This one I believe is gonna be the opener of the show because Briscoes have to show up at Impact Wrestling as well, so they will be defending their 12th reign as ROH World Tag Team Champions in a dream match against FTR. I think this is the match that most people are looking forward to on this evening. Who do you got taking the win, Romeo?
I'm going with the best tag team in the world, FTR.
Joe.
I've got FTR as well. This is the match for me this week. I can't wait. These are two of the top 10 tag teams ever for me, and that's me being as straight. Like, I mean, these two are the great teams. They're going to open. You're probably right. Good luck rebuilding that house as they tear it down, because they're going to rock that place. Like, this match means a lot to those teams. I don't think you're going to get a half-assed match. I think you're going to get an absolute classic. So I can't wait. I've got FTR winning for the obvious reasons that are kind of out there, right? It is what it is.
So as smart booking, I would put the Ninja Mac versus Tully's client after this because, with a debut or someone that's a surprise, that can get the fans back into it. But I agree, this is going to tear the house down. And I got FTR, as well, winning the ROH World Tag Team Championships here. And we're going to finally decide who's the undisputed ROH champion, as Bandito will defend the linear Ring of Honor championship against the original ROH world champion Jonathan Gresham, and just announced Chavo Guerrero will be in Bandito's corner in this match. Yes, indeed. Romeo, who you got?
Did you go to the Bandito news that was in the agenda? Because that kind of gives away my pick here. I'm going with Gresham.
Yes, PW Insider's Mike Johnson had an update on Bandito, saying that Bandito's work visa is expected to expire soon. ROH wasn't looking to get the work visas renewed for their talent ahead of the recent acquisition of the company by Tony Khan, and it was confirmed earlier this month that none of the previous ROH stars were under contract. And Johnson did noted if Bandito is unable to get short-term renewal on his work visa soon, he will likely have to return to Mexico. So, Joe, who you got? Bandito or Gresham?
Yeah, Gresham's winning. The Chavo thing is
random.
Yeah, man. That's kind of weird too. There's like a weird element to that, but that's another show for another day, for another voice name mine. Gresham's winning. The big question is who's going head to head with Gresham at the end of this show, because someone's coming out. And I don't think it's Bob O'Neill. I'm not going to be doing it as far as I know. So someone's doing, man. There's a press conference after too. You know that, right?
I guess?
Go ahead.
Joe.
So here's the thing with
Joe.
I'm with you. I don't know if he's actually available, but because no one knows his deal, right? Like Joe's shit is so private. There's no reporting on it. No one knows if it was 90 days or 30 days because it was an NXT deal. But some of those guys have. No one knows. If it's Samoa Joe, WrestleMania, there's no need for it, man.
Shut it down.
We're doing a 24-hour impromptu stream. You're celebrating,
Joe and Gresham? Woo!
Crazy. Yeah, that's the one I want. My guess is Danielson. I think Danielson will show up as a guest, and that's a big deal. Isn't
what a poor second choice, too. Yeah, what a poor second choice that is. I guess I'll settle for that.
Cesaro's another option out there as well.
It's going to be somebody.
Yeah, it has to be someone with ROH in their genes. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going with Jonathan Gresham as well to be the undisputed ROH world champion. That is a good transition into GCW. Has an event going on at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Like we said, Jay Shell, Romeo, and Professor Chris will be watching along on our Twitch channel as well as Facebook and Twitter. You got Too Cold Scorpio going against Brian Keefe. Very quickly, I'm going with Too Cold Scorpio. That's Uncle Scorpio. Romeo?
Same.
Joe?
Right there with you, man. Too cold all day.
He's got a dance, man.
The Hit Makers, formerly known as Hit Row, AJ Francis and Tahuti Miles with B-Fab, aka Brianna Brandy, will verse Shane Taylor Promotions. I gotta go for STP. We had Shane over here. We gotta support Shane Taylor. Joe?
Yeah, same. I love that whole act. I'm kind of disappointed at the lack of buzz they've got since Ring of Honor did, they closed down effectively. I'll take Shane Taylor Promotions for sure.
Romeo?
Unanimous.
Mm-hmm. We got the booker of the show, AJ Gray, will go one-on-one with Darius Lockhart. He lost last night on Joey Janela's. He ain't losing on his own show. I'm going for AJ Gray. Joe?
Yeah, exact same theory, exact same reasoning. Man, should be good. I love Darius Lockhart. He's great. Yeah. So it should be a good one.
Romeo?
I learned my lesson picking against Josh Barnett. So AJ Gray.
Smart move. Trisha Dora will go one-on-one with MJ Jenkins. I gotta go with Trisha Dora all day. Romeo?
Yeah, I'm not liking how we're all agreeing on these picks. We're gonna be wrong.
Yeah.
It's gonna be at least one.
It's tough because I'm the same one here too. Trish Adora, she has to be a name that comes up in this Ring of Honor revival, right? At some point, she was there before. Like, has to be getting signed here somewhere soon. But yeah, Trish Adora, I've got in this one.
Who you got here for a championship matchup is Impact Knockouts World Championship is on the line. Tasha Steelz will defend against Big Swole. I would love to pick Big Swole, but I don't think Impact wants their title to be changed on a GCW show. So going with Tasha Steelz. Joe?
Yeah, Tasha's winning, but this is a huge match for Big Swole because Impact is probably the most likely landing spot for her full time out there right now.
It's not going to be ROH.
Right, exactly. So if she has a good match here, it makes that a lot more likely than if she doesn't, right? So hopefully it's good. Obviously Tasha's winning, but hopefully it delivers because, I like both women a lot. So hopefully it's good.
True. Romeo?
Tasha, of course.
Rich. And in a dream match, in my opinion, you got Rich Swann going up against JTG. I don't know if it's been announced yet, but JTG should be the guy who inducts Shad Gaspar into the WWE Hall of Fame tonight. But who you got in this
match?
One?
Better be early.
I mean, it's 4:00, so I mean, he can make it. I'm going with Rich Swann though in this one. Romeo?
Finally, we disagree. I'll go with JTG.
Joe?
I got Rich Swann, I think. It's a hard one, right? But I'll take Rich Swann.
That's a difficult one for sure. We got New Japan Pro Wrestling. They got Lone Star Shootout at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. That's also going to be on our Twitch channel. Watch along with J News coming beyond the paywall of Patreon. You got Tomohiro Ishii versus Chris Dickinson. This is going to be hard hitting as hell. I'm going with Ishii though. Joe?
Yeah, this is one of those matches where Dickinson loses but will gain in defeat. Like they do this a lot. Ishii's winning, but I think the match will be damn good. I'm excited for that one.
Romeo?
I'm going with Ishii as well.
All right, who you got? Jay White, Switchblade, will go one-on-one with Speedball Mike Bailey. He's been tearing it up everywhere he's at, Impact Wrestling, GCW, the Independents. But Jay White is a top star for New Japan, so I'm going with Jay White here. Joe?
Yeah, Jay White ain't losing to anyone, not Speedball. I mean, I love Speedball, but that ain't the spot for him. Jay White's winning for sure.
Romeo?
Agreed, but it'll be a fun match.
And we got Surf Wrestling saying Big Swole signing with Impact Wrestling anyways. So, yeah, I can see that for sure. Minoru Suzuki in a dream match will go against former NXT champion, the former Karrion Kross, and now he's once again a killer. Killer Kross, Suzuki. Who you got, Romeo?
I want to pick him, so I'm going to pick him. Killer Kross, excuse me. I won't call him my
Joe?
slave name.
It does feel like Kross could win this one, right? It feels like they may want to push him. I don't know. I don't know if I can sleep at night if I pick Kross over Suzuki. I'm sorry. I got to take Suzuki. I got it.
Or he'll be in your nightmares.
Yeah, I got it.
Suzuki already took one loss this weekend. I can't go against him again. I voted for Chris Dickinson at Bloodsport, so I'm going to go for Suzuki here. WrestleMania SmackDown is tonight. Unfortunately, I have to watch that for Sportskeeda Wrestling. You got the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. You got Commander Aziz, Viking Raiders, Apollo Crews, Damian Priest, Finn Balor, Robert Roode, Jinder Mahal, R-Truth, Shanky, Reggie, Drew Gulak, Akira Tozawa, Madcap Moss, Cedric Alexander, Shelton Benjamin, and Mansoor. I think this is pretty much Priest and Balor to lose this one or win this one. I'll go with Priest here. Romeo?
Damn, we can't even get Ali in here. Can't get him a little payday. If you're going to embarrass him by putting him in here, he better at least win it, Finn Balor.
Who you got, Joe?
Wow, that is quite the lineup there. I'll go Finn Balor, I guess. I mean, I feel like they may set up Finn and Priest for the weekend, like on a late notice thing. They may throw each other out, but I'll take Finn because I can't pick anyone else to win it other than one of those two, so I'll go Finn.
Fair enough. Intercontinental Championship also being disrespected on WrestleMania SmackDown. Ricochet will defend against Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo. I think this is Ricochet to win here, Joe.
Yeah, Ricochet. I think they'll have a hell of a match. I mean, it feels like it should be on WrestleMania, but it's none of my business. It'll be probably really exciting and good, but who needs that on WrestleMania, right? Who needs it? So Ricochet's winning.
Romeo.
I think I heard Rick Ucchino say on the Believe in Pro Wrestling podcast that the IC title has not been defended on pay-per-view since April. Is that correct?
Since last WrestleMania.
Ricochet, sadly. Oh, man. So sad.
Impact Wrestling Multiverse of Matches. This is a unique event. It's going to have a whole bunch of talent from ROH, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and whatnot. X Division Championship will be on the line. Ultimate X, Trey Miguel will defend against Jordan Grace, Chris Bay, Rich Swann, Vincent, and Blake Christian making his return to Impact Wrestling. I'm going with Trey Miguel to successfully defend here, though. Joe?
Give me Bay. Let's look for a title change here. I think you're probably right, but let's try and spice this up a little bit. I'll take Chris Bay.
Romeo?
I hate picking against my good friend Jordan Grace, who follows me on Twitter. But I'm gonna go with Chris Bay.
Moose in a battle of horses. Moose and PCO will team to verse Josh Alexander and Jonah. I'm gonna have to go with Josh Alexander and Jonah in this one. Romeo?
Yes, with PCO taking the fall.
Yeah, Joe. That's the exact combination, right? PCO's there to get beat. That's fine. It'll be fun. It's a nice tag match.
It will be. Another interesting tag match is a mixed tag team matchup of husband and wives. We got Matt Cardona and Chelsea Green going up against Mickie James and Nick Aldis. Who you got, Joe?
I will take Nick and Mickey, but this is not what I'm going to be seeking out tomorrow morning on the Sunday morning, whatever.
Come on, man.
I'm sure it'll be fun. I watched the Crockett Cup, so Nick Aldis can't come for me. I did more than enough for Great Britain. I did my thing, so I'm going to give this one a pass. Okay, here's what it is.
Knockout. Romeo, who you got?
I got a little more anticipation than Joe does for this. I like this feud. I like what they're doing here. I'm gonna go with Aldis and Mickey though.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you guys. Aldis and Mickey for the win. The Aldises. Knockouts tag team titles will be on the line in a 4-way. This is gonna be the Influence defending against Tasha Steelz and Savannah Evans versus Giselle Shaw and Lady Frost versus the Decay. I got the Influence successfully defending here. Who you got, Romeo?
Yeah, they just won the damn things. They should hold on to it a little bit.
Yeah, Joe?
Yeah, I was honestly surprised they did win them, but now they've won them, it feels like it'd be kind of nuts to have them lose them right away, right? So, yeah, I assume the Influence will keep them.
Absolutely. The Good Brothers will go against the Briscoes in a tag team dream match. And the reason why the Briscoes and FTR will kick off Supercard of Honor because they have to go to a whole nother show tonight. Who you got in this one, Joe?
I think the Briscoes will win. The real question is, how many bumps are taken in this match from first bell to last? Because if you tell the Good Brothers, listen, man, we just had a 30-minute match with FTR, they'll be like, oh, cool, so 6 minutes? Is that what you're saying tonight? All right, cool. See you guys out there, So that's the intrigue to me. But I'll take the Briscoes because I think they're going to be losing about 2 hours before this. So, it evens itself out, basically. I'll take the Briscoes.
Romeo?
Yeah, I can't pick against the Briscoes twice in one night, so Briscoes will win this.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Briscoes as well. Jay White will go one-on-one with Chris Sabin. This is a rematch from the New Japan Strong taping that just recently happened. Once again, I got to go with Jay White here. Romeo?
Yeah, we're not picking against Jay White tonight. We're not.
Joe?
Exactly. Yeah, we're not picking. I think the match will be really, really good, though. I mean, Jay White is on fire right now, right? So he's going to kill it in all these matches, but he ain't losing in any of them.
Tomohiro Ishii will go up against Eddie Edwards in another dream match here. Who you got, Joe?
This is an underrated kind of standout match. This could actually be really, really good. Eddie Edwards is a guy who, because he's kind of bland, people sleep on him in ring. He's still got a lot to offer. Ishii, I think, will win. But I don't know. It's actually a match I'm probably going to seek out. I'm looking forward to it. So, yeah, I'll take Ishii.
Who you got, Romeo?
I'm going with Eddie, and it's not going to be clean. It's going to be very, very dirty.
Yeah, I think Honor No More gets involved, and I'll go with Eddie Edwards to get the victory. Alex Shelley will go against Speedball Mike Bailey in what I think might be the show stealer here. I'm going to go with Shelley. Oh, no, I'll actually go with Speedball Mike Bailey to get the victory here. Joe?
When you were saying that, my mind went through the exact same process yours did.
My God.
I was like, because I kind of, your instincts are Shelley, but it feels like Speedball should probably win that one, right? He's a guy that they're going to have prominently for years. So, yeah, Speedball, I think it'll be a hell of a match, though. You're right.
Who you got, Romeo?
Yeah, this is a tough one to call. I'm going to go with Speedball, though.
And then finally, Champ Challenge is going to be Deonna Purrazzo defending either the ROH Women's Championship, the real ROH Women's Championship, or the Reina Del Rey's AAA Championship against a mystery opponent. So who do you think the mystery opponent is, and who do you think wins, Joe?
Again, I don't know who's booked and who isn't. I'm going to just say Mia Yim. I'll just throw that out there because that feels like someone that could be there full time. Taya, it could be it too. I think it's wild. There's a lot of options in free agency right now, women's wrestling. So it's kind of weird. I assume Deonna wins regardless, unless it's Athena, in which case, I'm going to get a lot of tweets dunking on me. So just hope it's not that. I'll take Mia Yim and I'll say Deonna wins. That's my guess.
Romeo?
I don't think it's going to be Taya because I think she already has a AAA title shot secured. So I don't think she can use another one here. I'd like to see Athena, if not Mia Yim, but I'll go with Deonna winning either way.
I'll actually go with Taya based on your theory there. Since she already has a shot at the AAA title, get a shot at the ROH title. Deonna wins. Deonna wins, and then it makes it even when she takes that AAA title in Mexico because she's going to be there probably more full time than Deonna in the future. But that is not all for tonight, guys. I know Romeo needs a coffee already just thinking about it. Joey Janela Spring Break 6 Part 2 is tonight, and we got to bring up Joe, your former boss, Sean Ross Sapp, in the clusterfuck.
And on the thumbnail.
Yes, he made it. He made it, ladies and gentlemen. Sean made it to the thumbnail. Who wins the greatest clusterfuck of all time? Joe, is it going to be Sean Ross Sapp?
I feel like if I say anyone but Sean Ross Sapp, it should be clipped and sent to Sean Ross Sapp. So I'm going to just say, start the edit now, guys, for those of you keeping. Sean Ross Sapp is going to win the clusterfuck battle royale thingy that he's in tonight. Good luck to Sean Ross Sapp. I hope he has his hands up higher, tucks his chin, looks after himself. There's some wild cards in there, I got Sean, obviously. I have to, right? I'll be fucked if I don't, so I'll say Sean.
Romeo, who you got?
I don't work for SRS or have worked for him, so I say there's no chance in hell he is winning this clusterfuck. I will take anybody else in the field. I don't even know who's in it.
I'll take Buff Bagwell. Buff Bagwell's in it, and he's been great on Twitter recently. I'm going to pick Buff is the stuff. Speedball Mike Bailey might get murdered. After all the matches he's had this weekend, at 1 a.m., he's going to be versing PCO. Who you got in this one, Joe?
What a strange match that is. Right? My God. I don't know. I guess PCO wins. I don't know, man. You know who wins that one, guys? The fans win that one. That's who. Yeah, I'll take PCO. He's like a foot taller than Speedball, so I'll give PCO.
I'm also going with PCO in this one, Romeo.
Oh, both of those guys might get wheeled in on stretchers to make this match. I'll go with Bailey.
Who you got in this one? Effie. This is a strange dream match.
Effie get stranger.
Will go one-on-one with Murder Grandpa himself, Minoru Suzuki. Who you got in this, Romeo?
I don't know. I'm going to take Effie. I feel guilty doing it, but hey.
I got to go for my Murder Grandpa, so I'm going with Suzuki. Who you got, Joe?
It feels like when GCW does these matches, the homegrown, the core talent never wins. So I guess Suzuki probably just wins his finish, and the crowd's like, well, that's fun. That's what I said. So Suzuki's winning, I think. But what a fascinating match this is.
I don't understand, Brett, if Jeff Jarrett beats Effie at Hammerstein Ballroom and then Effie beats Suzuki during WrestleMania weekend.
Maybe that's what he's building to. Maybe they're going to go run Korakuen Hall and do Jeff Jarrett versus Minoru Suzuki, bro. You don't know, long-term.
You never know. You never know. This one should be an underrated match of the weekend. You got Tony Deppen going one-on-one with Biff Busick. If you saw Biff Busick last night at Bloodsport, he's delivering. I'm going with Biff in this one. Who you got, Joe?
I'm going with Biff. This is going to be great. I just hope Biff is okay. Dude looks, he was going through it last night. There was a lot of blood, and Suzuki was laughing at him, which is tough. Match is going to be great. I'll take Biff. This is going to be a standout one, though, for sure.
Romeo?
I'm going with the man who has the match of the week so far right now, Biff.
And then finally, the main event of Joey Janela Spring Break Part 2 is going to be Matt Cardona, the face of GCW, with Chelsea Green versus Chris Dickinson with Missy Hyatt, former WCW manager. I am going to go with Chris Dickinson to get the good send-off to the show and the victory for the babyface here. Romeo, who you got?
I can't pick a team with Missy Hyatt on it. I'm going Cardona Chelsea.
Well, it's not a mixed tag. It's just she's in her corner. Missy Hyatt's in the corner.
Okay, I thought it was a tag match.
No, it's Dickinson versus Cardona.
All right, still Cardona.
Who you got,
I'll go babyface win as well. I think it's probably time to do that, right? So yeah, I'll take Dickinson.
And then NXT Stand and Deliver 2022 will be tomorrow at 12 p.m. is the kickoff show, since we have to talk about the kickoff show because they got the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships on the line. Gigi Dolan and JC Jane will defend against the reunited Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. I'm saying new champions. They finally get a reign. Kai and Gonzalez here. Who you got, Romeo?
Agreed, even though I don't like it, but whatever.
Joe?
Yeah, it feels like it would be even more insane to do all that just to have them lose, right? You can't do that. Yeah, I think the titles are changing. This show is going to be very interesting. Very, very interesting, you know? I'm looking forward to it in a weird way, but I'll take new champs here.
Yeah, it's going to be very strange because you're going to have a showdown of two couples. It's going to be Index of Indy Hartwell and Dexter Loomis and Dusha of Duke Hudson and Persia Parada. They have a showdown, but we're not going to predict this segment since we already have to predict a segment on WrestleMania. So we got LA Knight versus Gunther, a.k.a. Volta. Who you got in this one, Romeo?
Walter. That's the only name I can call him by.
Joe?
You know me. I'm here for the jokes. I'm here for the grins. Give me an LA Knight victory, clean in the middle.
Oh my God.
Let me like go to 8 different Twitter accounts, and just update them, waiting for their response to this. You know, that's where that's not even a prediction. That's just a hope for where I'm at in my life. You know, just want to laugh at people. It's fun.
Tommaso Ciampa. Well, I'm going with Gunther. For me, I'm going with Gunther. Go with the smart money. Tommaso Ciampa making his final NXT matchup against Tony D'Angelo. Great promo that he got there. Who you got, Ciampa or Tony D? Romeo.
I'd like to think that Ciampa put Tony D over on the way out, so I'm gonna go with Tony.
Joe?
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. I'll take Tony, but I wouldn't be surprised if they just have, they kind of give him that traditional legend send off if he actually wins. And I'll take Tony though, because I just think it's more likely he gets beat on the way out. So yeah.
I'll go with Ciampa here. I'm going to go with my black heart instead of my head. NXT North American Championship ladder match: Carmelo Hayes, Santos Escobar, Grayson Waller, Solo Sikoa, and Cameron Grimes. I'm going with Grimes to get the victory here. You can't bring dead daddies into the picture and lose here. Joe, who you got?
I got dark.
I think Grayson Waller's going to win this one. I'm more mad Roderick Strong isn't in it, and I'll be calling the police as soon as this match begins.
Romeo?
Roddy lost not only one, but 2 qualifying matches to get in this. I'm going Cameron Grimes to the moon.
NXT Tag Team titles on the line in a 3-way: Imperium, MSK, and the Creeds. I'm going with the Creeds to win here. Romeo?
I want to see the Creed Bros win, but that mystery storyline of who's attacking them has me nervous. I'll go with Imperium to retain.
Joe?
Well, I was going to pick the Creed brothers, but then I heard of this storyline that was definitely not news to me as of about 15 seconds ago. So I will also say that Imperium is going to win. Yes, that's my prediction, definitely.
I love it. NXT Women's Championship on the line. Mandy Rose will defend in a 4-way against Cora Jade, Io Shirai, and Kaylee Ray. This is the Cora Jade coronation. I'm going with Cora Jade. Joe?
I think Toxic Attraction may be going up, which is one of the most hilarious sentences I've ever said. So I will take, Cora Jade, because all of those women need to be up, right? Like Io Shirai can't be winning the NXT title again. Like, let her go up. So yeah, I'll take Cora Jade too.
Romeo?
She is 100% not ready for this, but Cora Jade's gonna win.
Yeah. But someone who is ready is Braun Breaker. Can he regain the NXT championship against Dolph Ziggler? And I say yes. It's the Steiner weekend. So yes, Romeo.
Yes, Braun. I hope the Steiners are involved in some way, or they at least raise his hand at the end and put him over.
Joe?
Yeah, I would like to see Bobby Roode take like a suplex from Rick or Scott. That'd be fun.
Yes.
I'll be honest, and this is not me doing a bit. I think this match is going to be fucking great. I really have confidence it's going to be good. Dolph's been killing it on NXT, so I'm looking forward to it. Braun's going to win, and that's cool. I think it's been a nice piece of business they've done, so I'm looking forward to it. Braun Breaker to win for me.
And then WrestleMania 38, night 1. You got 7 matches, 1 segment. Let's talk about that segment. It is the KO show with special guest Stone Cold Steve Austin. Joe, are you of the belief this will actually be a match?
I'm not, but I think you're going to get enough brawling that it's worth people's time. People would like it, you know. I also think Austin may actually be in the old school vest trunk. I think people will pop for that. So I think you're going to get an awesome brawl, but not a actual bell ringing, if that makes any sense. But stunners at the end, beers, all that good stuff. That's my guess.
Romeo?
I think the bell rings. I think we have an unsanctioned match, and Austin wins. I think Austin takes a stunner, though.
Oh, wow. I would love to see that. I think I'm going more towards Joe. It's going to just be a big brawl, similar to him and Brock Lesnar before WrestleMania 20. Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, the New Day, will versus Sheamus and Ridge Holland with Butch. I think Butch is the difference maker here, and Sheamus and Ridge win. Romeo?
He better be the difference maker, man. I'm going with the heels.
Who you got, Joe?
Me too. This is one of those matches where they'll have the heels win and people will go on Twitter and talk about heat. And it's like, they do this every year. You know, the heels will just win flat. It'll be fine. It'll be whatever.
Pre-show match.
This is my bathroom break here. Drew McIntyre going one-on-one with Happy Corbin. I think Drew wins easily here. Joe?
Yeah, this is real boring, huh? Drew's winning. It's just like, you know it's going to get some time, which is disappointing. You know they're going to go like 12 at least, right? Like they're going to have a real match. And it's just, I'm not interested, but Drew's definitely winning.
Romeo?
Drew, I hope it's in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Ray and Dominic Mysterio will go up against Logan Paul and The Miz. This is a heel celebrity, so I'm going to go with Ray and Dominic on this one, but I'm so not sure of that pick. Joe?
Well, I think Logan Paul will like turn babyface and mess up The Miz.
Ew.
I think that's what he'll do. I know.
Made me throw up.
I think he will like punch The Miz and Mysterios will win. So this is very sad how little I care about a Rey Mysterio match, man. What are they doing to my guy, man? He's dressed in Logan Paul. What the fuck?
Romeo?
I don't like picking against celebrities, but I think the Mysterios are winning this just on the storyline. They need some revenge here.
And here we go. Is it true? Is it true? Adrenaline in his soul. Is it Cody Rhodes, the opponent of Vince McMahon's choosing, against Seth Rollins? Joe, is it Cody, and who wins?
I think it's absolutely Cody. I've had a lot of fun at both these men's expense, but I think they'll have a hell of a match if they're allowed to. I think Cody's winning with his finisher, which is one of the funniest outcomes possible. I'm looking forward to it, man. I don't think it's really that complicated. I think Cody's come in and he's winning. Simple as that.
Romeo?
Yes, everyone's talking about the buzz, Cody debuting, and nobody's talking about the fact that this will be a hell of a match if they want it to be.
Yeah.
Like, they could steal a whole week. So, yeah.
Yeah, the key is is it going to be like an Undertaker John Cena situation, right? If it's a real match, they're going to rock it. They just are. So I'm looking forward to it.
I think it is Cody, and he gets the victory in about 10, 15 minutes, maybe. SmackDown tag team titles, the Usos will verse Nakamura and Boogs. I got Nakamura and Boogs. Romeo?
Yeah, they love Boogs too much. They're going to give him his moment here. WrestleMania moment.
Oh my God, this is offensive. I didn't realize this was a thing. Usos, man, I can't do that. I mean, you're probably right. I don't watch the show, but
they love Boogs. They love him.
I'm sorry to hear that. Very sorry to hear that.
I'll
take the Usos.
They actually do, ladies and gentlemen.
For some reason, the crowd loves him too every time he's out.
Yeah, true. You got the two women's titles on the line. The Raw Women's Championship will be defended by Becky Lynch, and she will defend against Bianca Belair. The two women that have main evented and won at WrestleMania. Joe, who you got?
I know a lot of people are scared. I think it has to be Bianca Belair. I will be really surprised if it isn't. I think they know that. I get why people are scared, but I think Bianca Belair is winning. Absolutely.
Romeo?
Bianca's winning. The question is it as fast as the SummerSlam match was, or do they actually have a match?
That's the big question. I've been saying 13 seconds needs to happen, and Bianca Belair wins. That's how you open the show, big moment, and redeem them for what happened at SummerSlam. So I'm going with Bianca. And then finally, Charlotte Flair will defend the SmackDown Women's Championship against the 2022 Royal Rumble winner, Ronda Rousey. Of course, I'm going with Ronda. Joe, who you got?
Ronda's winning. All jokes aside, I think there's a good chance this match is actually pretty fun.
Yes.
because I think it's going to be very highly produced. Like I think they'll know exactly spot for spot what they're doing, which is going to help. So I think Ronda's winning in what will be a surprisingly exciting match. So that's my pick.
Romeo.
The main event. A lot of people shitting on this, but Charlotte and Ronda are gonna take it over. They're gonna win the crowd over, as Charlotte did against Rhea Ripley. Remember Money in the Bank? We Want Becky chance turned into This Is Awesome chance. I'm taking the Queen here. I'm sure you guys picked Asuka, to beat Charlotte in that WrestleMania once. I'm not making that mistake here. I'm going with the Queen.
Yeah, I picked Sasha at WrestleMania 32 as well, and that backfired on me too. Then we got night 2, Bobby Lashley going up against Omos. Does Omos take another bump? Who wins here? Joe, your match you're looking forward to the most.
This is what dreams are made of, my friend. This is what dreams are made of, because here's the situation. Bobby Lashley should win, right? But really, is he the guy to get to benefit from the fact that Omos hasn't taken a bump in a year and, or took one bump, hasn't lost? He probably isn't. So I'll take Bobby Lashley, but if it is Omos, I'll have to just I'll respect it. I have no choice but to respect it, I'll take Bob Lashley, though, personally.
I'll take Bobby as well. Romeo?
I don't think Lashley is the guy, man. If I'm WWE, I have 2 other guys in mind to take out Omos, and that would be either Gable Stevenson or Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
I'd have.
I'm gonna change my pick. That was a good pick. I'm going with Omos.
It's true. It's like Bobby should win, but is he the guy to benefit from this? No, probably not. So maybe he shouldn't win. I don't know, man.
I'm going with Omos. Pat McAfee will go one-on-one with Austin Theory. Pat McAfee leaving the commentary table for this one. I'm going with McAfee here. Who you got, Romeo?
I'm going with Austin Theory. I mean, I think he needs it more. And it goes with my other pick in the celebrity matches. We can't have too many celebrities winning.
Joe?
Has this got a lot of hype, by the way? Because
I mean, initially it did, but they really haven't done much with it outside of Austin Theory swiping off Pat McAfee's headset a lot.
My guess is Theory will have some sort of cheating to win method. That's what I assume, because they're obviously pushing him for better or definitely worse.
Definitely worse.
He's getting pushed, so I think he'll win. But I mean, it's a weird one. I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of hype for it, but I'll take Theory.
You got another celebrity match here. Anything goes match. Johnny Knoxville will go up against Sami Zayn. Babyface celebrities don't lose at WrestleMania. I'm going with Knoxville. Joe?
Yeah, I am too. I think there's a good chance this is like an absolute blast. Like these dudes have made the most of this build.
Yes,
I get the sense that you give Sammy these tools at his disposal, he's going to make something work. So I think it'll be a lot of fun. Knoxville's winning, which is fine because that's the character Sammy is now. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. He's great at it. So yeah, I'll take Johnny Knoxville.
Romeo?
Yes, Knoxville with help from the entire Jackass cast.
Yeah.
I can see that. And a snake pit. Raw tag team titles on for grabs. RK Bro will defend against the Street Profits and Alpha Academy. I'm going with the Street Profits here. They've been edging towards the heel turn. I think it completes here and they win the titles. Romeo?
I agree. Street Profits get their WrestleMania moment here.
Joe?
Yep, absolutely. And then they cut a lot of promos about how you didn't get mad that they wasn't on WrestleMania last year, and but they're a great team, so I think the match will be really good. I'll take the Street Profits.
And you got this one is going to be interesting. If it gets time, it might be very good. It might not. Who knows? Women's tag team titles is up for grabs. Queen Zelina and Carmella versus Sasha Banks and Naomi versus Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan versus Shayna Baszler and Natalya. I'm going with the Boss and Glow connection. Sasha Banks finally wins at WrestleMania. Romeo?
I say keep the reverse Undertaker streak going for Sasha and make it a storyline for next year's WrestleMania, where she finally wins versus either I do the four horsewomen fatal 4-way at the WrestleMania Hollywood LA. I do it there. So I'm going with Liv and Rhea.
Who you got, Joe?
I got Naomi and Sasha. This is just a shame because it feels like some of these women should be doing way bigger things than this match. Like it's real thrown together and it's disappointing. But I'm sure they'll make the most of it. I'll take Sasha and Naomi.
This one should be a WrestleMania classic. It is Edge going one-on-one with AJ Styles. First time ever. Edge got the new character, so I'm going with him. Who you got, Joe?
Yeah, I think Edge is winning. I have a big prediction that I made on the world famous Late Night Grin. I'd like to share with you guys. I hope it pops you as much as it did my cohorts over there. The feud on Raw next month will be for the returning big gold title. It will be between Cody Rhodes and Edge, the belt that Edge never lost and the belt that Cody's dad held. They will cut some of the most dramatic promos ever. Both will cry at different points during this program.
Spotlight and all. Yep. That's great. Yep.
Edge will win this match with that in mind. So, yeah, I think the match will be really good. I have a little bit of concern about Edge doing his character work too much and hurting the quality of the product itself, but I think they'll rock it. I think they'll have fun. I think Edge will have the win here.
Romeo?
I got Edge winning, and here's a bold prediction. It'll be with help from a new stablemate. Edge is going to create a stable here, and the first guy going to be by his side is Damian Priest.
You got the idea from me. Stop on our WrestleMania preview show where I told you WWE just trademarked the grand jury, which fits in with what Edge is doing. So, yes, I do agree there. And then the main event, the biggest WrestleMania match of all time, WWE Championship and Universal Championship on the line, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. 7 years in the making. Who walks out with all the gold, Joe?
I think Roman wins. I actually am interested in the result, which is a feat because I was there 4 years ago and I didn't want to ever see them two dudes wrestle again. So God bless them, they've pulled it off. I'm kind of interested. I think Roman's winning. I think the match will be really good because the crowd will actually want to cheer for the babyface. And, I think it'll work better, this dynamic. So I'll take Roman.
Romeo?
It has to be Roman, but I am a little nervous because we've already seen the visual of Roman standing over Brock with both titles. They've already given us that.
This is true. This is true. It makes it a little bit like, are they really going to pull this off? Are they really going to do this or not? But I think like the story kind of necessitates Brock to win, but I'm not going against the tribal chief. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Who am I? This whole show has been built on my love for Roman Reigns and Ronda Rousey. So I am going with Roman Reigns to be the unified WWE Universal Champion. Hold all the gold in the universe.
Called him a madman.
He's Thanos. But that is all. We made it. We did it all. We did all the cards for the weekend. Oh my God.
I still got a marathon stream to do.
I told you all, you would hear more about professional wrestling on this podcast than any other wrestling podcast out there. So I got to thank Joe Hulbert so much for being our fantastic special guest as per usual. Might have to do like Joe like once a month because that's how great Joe is. I love Joe.
Look, here's the deal. You guys had me on like a week after I left Fightful, and there weren't many people trying to have me on at that time. So, when you need me, I'll try and make it work. The real bit here is that of the matches we just predicted, I'll watch about 25% of them, which is between us. But I'll tweet that they're good. It's my brand. It is what it is. But I appreciate you guys.
Please let the people know where they can find you, Joe, and all the great work you're doing.
Well, recently, and we're both involved in this, like WrestlePurist.com. I've been helping out the best I can there and editing and just that's a fun thing that's happening. But LateNightGrin.com is where you can see content like this. Whole team. There's a lot of different personalities. Jay Shell, who will be on, with you guys here shortly, is on there too. That's LateNightGrin.com. You can sign up for just $1. There are no tiers. You get access to everything there. And we have our own YouTube channel. I don't know what the URL is, so you just type in Late Night Grin, you'll find it. It's fine. Follow us on the Twitter at Late Night Grin. We're going to be live in like 4 more times tonight. So if you follow me on Twitter at Joe Hulbert, you'll see all the different shit I'm doing. There's a lot going on. It's WrestleMania weekend. I appreciate you guys having me.
Thank you so much, Joe. Always one of our favorite guests. Romeo, let the people know all the things you're doing tonight, please.
You can follow me, Tru Heel Romeo, on Twitter and Instagram. Very, very shortly here, me and Jay Shell and Professor Chris for the Culture at 4 p.m. on our Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. And then also New Japan Lone Star Shootout. That's at 6. That's going into 8 o'clock, where we got Absolute Madness, Supercard, SmackDown, fucking Hall of Fame, Rampage at 10, Multiverse, Spring Break at 1 a.m. I'm going to stay up for that. And then all the way back here tomorrow, fucking NXT, WrestleMania. Yeah, everything. Just everything. Just follow us. Join me. I'm going to need the help. Joe, you said no monsters. Does that mean no coffee as well?
It's like a middle ground. You can do it every once in a while. Do it like once every 4 hours. You'll be right.
All right.
There you go. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at Tru Heel SP3. I'll be later on Sports Keto Wrestling for the top story, as well as for Smack Talk with Dutch Mantel. We'll be reviewing SmackDown and Rampage. Yes, so follow me over there as well. And of course, I'll be back here on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel for both the WrestleMania Night 1 roundtable with Nate Milton, Andrew Thompson, as well as Jeremy Lambert will be joining us for that, as well as WrestleMania Night 2 roundtable review with Louis Dangor on Monday. So there's a lot of great content to enjoy on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel. So remember to drop a thumbs up on this video, share it with your friends, subscribe if you are new to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat, $3 a month. You can support us even more. I want to thank everybody who joined us in the live chat. Thank you to Stephanie Hypes. Thank you to Joe Hulbert. And of course, Romeo behind the camera as well as in front of the camera. Always the right-hand man of the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3. Enjoy WrestleMania 38 weekend. It is so much wrestling to enjoy and a great weekend to be a wrestling fan. This has been Tru Heel Heat 169. Here comes the Mania. We are signing off until next time.